right.
You can't win, you can't break even, and you can't get out of the game. People keep saying things are gonna change, but they look just like they stay the same. You're getting way over your head, and you only got yourself to blame. You can't win, child, can't break even, can't get out of the game. Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
All right. All the Jermaines in the house, stand up and shake the dust of the strag from your feet as you walk out. Welcome, folks. Welcome, some people. This is it's going to be a little different. It's going to be a little bit more academic and not as much as about black female fuckery, as we say. Okay. Adric, it's always a good stream when Adric is number one. Andre is in the house. Alex the Wolf, what's going on? There's Eddie, what's happening? Toya, doing the dusty dance. Wahoo! Okay. Toya with the apple, with the forbidden apple. I see he already submitted his likes. Okay. I suggest y'all do the same. Got 40 likes in the building already, 79 watching. I'm listening in the house. Calvin, what's happening? Hurricane Greg, Ryan Russell, what's up? B1, okay. And Black First, but BMA, bro, Black Male Agency. Henderson, what's happening? Gundam, what's going on? Shannon Moore, what's happening? Cornelius, what's happening? Bruce on Wayne, okay, the Dusty King. I liked the video, you Dusty Rebels. I heard that. Ricky, what's happening? Brandon, what's happening? Marcus, what's going on? Prince in the house. Marshawn's in the house. Ninja Person, what's up? Too much dust on my helmet. I heard that, man. What is it? Go ahead, let's play her.
Life's tough. Get a helmet, man.
Jay Shabazz, what's happening? Money Motion. Jermaine beaming in on Transported 7, AB Media. What's happening? Snowman, what's going on? Pharaoh, what's going on? Jermaine number 6 checking in. Y'all ain't shit. Beef King, what's happening? Sam C, what's happening? Shannon Green, Jim Jones. Beleary, what's happening? Jake Jr., what's happening? Dave Tower, one of my day ones. Our Future, what's going on? Trail, what's happening? And Indigo Flow. Let's see if we got anybody else. Chef Mike's, what's going on? What's going on, man? What's for dinner? Disturbance in the dust. Y'all ain't shit. LeVaris, what's happening? The Ninja Person's doing his due diligence. He's got a test. Yogi X. People get debating who is more famous, Michael Jackson or Muhammad Ali. Ooh, I say Muhammad Ali. I say Muhammad Ali's more famous globally. And see. Night B and O Guns Machete. All right. Let us go ahead and get started. Okay. This is because we've been talking about the environment for a while and how this post-industrial environment is changing people. I was saying that feminism is a product of the environment, okay, product of the post-industrial environment, and not a cause. And we're used in South Korea because their time frame is so compressed, right? Like for American feminism, man, we talked about going back going back into the 1780s. Okay, we're talking about well over 200 years, about 250 years to evolve to where this to evolve to this point. Okay, 250 years, right? Korea has done the same thing in 60. Okay, um, Korean patriarchy in the 1950s or the 1960s was comparable to the uh, 18th century in Northern Europe. That's the kind of patriarchy there was. Okay, and they've gone from a a relatively rural um, people into this ultra modern, ultra high tech culture. Okay, so all the phases that we went through over 250 years, they're going through now in 60. In fact, the society is actually going beyond where we are because they've accelerated so fast as far as this revolt. So what we have is the modern environment versus the old-fashioned patriarchy, and we see what's happening. Okay, and the 4B movement, because I was actually on Medium. I'm actually subscribed to Medium because that's where the feminists really hang out. Okay, and some of the stuff some of the takes they come up with, um, that's where really the viciousness really comes out in Medium. Okay, it really does. And so when they say that they don't hate men or they don't say anything negative toward men, as far as feminists, it's bullshit because I read it all the time. Okay. But I'm going to read a little bit of this and then we're going to get into some of the videos. Um, so I really want to show you where I got this from. And this is a black girl, right? This is Alana Parham, right? Guess that's her name. The 4B movement in South Korea and why women in the United States should take notes, okay? In 2018, young women of South Korea began to do their own version of quiet quitting. They decided they would no longer adhere to the social norms of like in South Korea. The last 5 years have seen a steady decline in the birth rates in South Korea. These women have aimed to do much more to buck against the expectation of childbirth and child rearing. They want to do away with interactions with men altogether. This has been named the 4B movement, considered a radical feminist movement by the powers that be. There has inevitably been pushback and feeds into the larger global conversation about around women of today and relationship to the patriarchy, right? If they want to call the West a patriarchy. So what are the 4Bs of the 4B movement, you ask? B or B meaning no in Korean, the B's are Bihan, Bihason, BA no, BA nay, and BSQ. Beyond no is heterosexual marriage. Beyond okay, I'm trying to pronounce these Korean words. No childbirth or dating. Beyond yone, no romance and no, I guess there's no sexual relationship. No romance, and BSQ, no sexual relationships. The tenets of the 4Bs movement might seem extreme, but it's worth it to understand South Korean culture. Think United States in the 1950s and decades before. Actually, it's the 1700s. She hasn't really investigated this. Okay. Women are expected to do all the things in hopes of getting married, leaving work after having children, staying home to raise children, enduring abuse in all forms, and never considering divorce. Yet millennial and Gen Z women are looking to change society at large by pushing against these archaic ideas of women roles in said society. South Korea has the highest domestic violence rate in the industrialized world, according to the 2016 survey by Ministry of Gender Equality and Family, found an incidence of intimate partner violence at the rate of 41.5%, significantly higher than the global average of 30%. These findings were released 7 years ago. Sadly, the instances are probably higher now, as in any one of these women are opting out. Okay. Okay. Basically, um, the 4Bs are like very extremely radical. Okay. They're extremely radical. And what's actually going on is a compression of it, and basically you have a highly patriarchal society, right? Extremely patriarchal society, and you have an extremely authoritarian society, and me and Nameless were actually saying that um, in cultures like that, you have either two choices: either you're going to have a high out of wedlock birth rate, which is what even in Korea, that's what they're pushing for, more more ability for women to have children outside of marriage, or you're going to have um, a strict patriarchy, right, that conforms to patriarchal norms and a very, very low birth rate. Okay, that seems to be the options of these two society, of these two forms of society. Okay, and any place you see an extremely low birth rate, you probably have a patriarchal society. Okay, like Italy has a very highly patriarchal society, believe it or not. Greece, um, and now Japan and China and South Korea, right? Very high, highly patriarchal society, well, leaning towards authoritarian and and a very low birth rate. Now, Korea has the lowest birth rate in fertility rate in history. In history, okay. Normally, it evens out right around 2. If you go below 1, that means your society will slowly start to die out. Okay, slowly go below 1, below 2. Now, they're below 1 and falling. And I was telling this young lady, she wants this movement to move here. I said, you're going to kill your society by doing that. Is it worth it? And she hasn't gotten back to me. But the thing is, it was actually a very, very interesting thought piece. There's a new movie called Pod Generation about artificial wombs. It also touches on the elimination of men and AI replacing workers. Yeah, well, yeah. That stuff has been around since the 30s, really. Go read Brave New World, okay, where they grow children in artificial wombs or pods. Um, elimination of men, really, if basically, if you're gonna reproduce workers and in a pods and stuff like that, then the sex roles really don't have any meaning. Okay, sex roles or dimorphism is basically for survival and reproduction, right? Once you eliminate all that, basically everybody's a drone. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's double X or XY. It doesn't really matter. It matters in a society where you have to have both. But that is eunuchs in a pot. Well, there's no such thing as eunuchs because nobody's having sex. But let me play. Let me go back and find it. I see the first of the first of our videos. This was really 5 years ago. I saw this, but you know how it is. You want to see if a movement has legs. And I saw this years ago, and but now it seems to be growing. I see. We do want to play the BBC. No, we don't. BBC likes to do copyright strikes. So which one are we gonna play? Huh? Okay, let me find. I thought I had it. Okay, let's try this one. This one is visual politics. Is South Korea doomed to extinction?
It's no secret. In the wealthiest countries, fewer and fewer people want to have children. The falling birth rate is practically a generalized phenomenon throughout the developed world. It seems clear that it's going to become one of the greatest challenges in the very near future. We're talking about countries that are getting older and have fewer children. In fact, most developed countries are already well below the replacement rate. That is, below the 2.1 children per woman of childbearing age that would be needed to at least keep the population stable, excluding immigration, of course. However, there is one specific case, a country in which the average child per woman is not only fewer than 2 children per woman, woman, but less than 1. We're talking about the country with the lowest birth rate in the world. And yes, as you may have already guessed, if only by the thumbnail and title of this video, I'm talking about South Korea. Check it out. Specifically, we're talking about a fertility rate of only 0.78 children per woman in 2022. A level so low that we could almost say that having children in South Korea has become an anomaly. And take note, because in Seoul, this rate is getting even worse. Wait for it. We're talking only about 0.59 children per woman, down to almost a quarter of the replacement rate. In other words, in this case, it is not that South Korea is going through a demographic winter. It is that we are practically facing the chronicle of an extinction foretold. Despite being one of the richest and most advanced countries in the world, South Korea is facing a colossal problem whose solution is far from simple and which could cause a demographic catastrophe in this country as never seen before. A demographic catastrophe, and if things do not change, perhaps an economic one as well. Even with the strong robotization of industry, if things continue as they are, it is possible that in a short time, there will not be enough workers to keep the economy going. It's factories, it's stores, it's schools, and businesses of all kinds. No, we're not exaggerating. We're not exaggerating at all. Take a look at this graph. Do you realize what this means? What you are looking at is South Korea's population projection over the next few decades. As you can see, as of today, the land of morning calm may have already reached its historical maximum population. From now on, its population will not only be much older, but it will also begin to decrease. And don't think it will do so slowly. In the next 40 years, this country will lose more than 12 million inhabitants. That is 25% of its entire population. In demographic terms, that's a huge drop in population. And that's not all. By the end of the century, if the current trend continues, South Korea's population is expected to shrink to less than half, from today's almost 52 million inhabitants to just over 20 million. There is no other country in the world with such a poor outlook. We're talking about a scenario in which not only South Koreans may end up disappearing, but a lot of wealth could be destroyed in the process, meaning that those remaining will face enormous hardship. Think about it. If the forecasts come true, many of the children being born today will see their country with half the population when they retire, with all that implies. More social spending, less savings, less consumption, and so on and so forth. And keep in mind, we are not talking about a vague hypothesis, but about a process that has already begun. After years with an absolutely plummeting birth rate, there are already many cases in the country of primary schools, obstetric and pediatric hospitals, and services that are having to close. Now, many of you may be wondering, at this point, why on earth is this happening in a country where the economy is supposedly booming and people are not lacking anything? What exactly are the reasons why South Koreans no longer want to have children? What is the government doing to reverse this situation? Does it have a solution? Well, in this video, we're going to answer these and more questions. So pay attention, because this is the story of the country that is running towards its own extinction.
The Four No's.
As you can imagine, a disaster like the one we are describing is not something that just happens. There are reasons, and they are neither few nor easy to explain. But here on Visual Politic, we're going to try to tell you about it in the most summarized way possible. You see, the easiest thing to do would be to blame it on low wages, hyper-competitiveness in South Korea, or that women prefer to focus on their careers rather than put them at risk to have children. But no, although these factors are partly to blame, they do not explain why South Korea is the country with the lowest birth rate in the world. After all, these factors apply elsewhere as well. So what on earth has caused the problem in South Korea to reach such a magnitude? Well, I can tell you in advance that some things will shock you a lot. On the one hand, South Korean society is perhaps one of the most conservative and traditional of all developed countries. And okay, yes, I know what you're thinking, but Josh, conservative societies usually have an advantage when it comes to birth rates, don't they? Well, no, not always. One of the problems that they have in the land of the morning calm is their extremely puritanical and traditional way of understanding motherhood and family models. In fact, there is virtually only one family model, the one formally composed between a woman and a man, and then the children, of course. Anything outside of this framework is effectively left out of the system, and South Korean society loses a lot of opportunities to solve, or at least mitigate, its major childlessness problem. But as I know that what I have said may be surprising, and that some of you are probably even shocked, we're going to give you data and concrete examples. For example, in South Korea, only 2.9% of babies born in 2021 were born out of wedlock, while the OECD average is, wait for it, 40%, 16 times higher, nearly 40%.
See what I was telling you about patriarchal societies, authoritarian societies? You have two choices: either have a high out of wedlock birth rate, or you have a low out of wedlock birth rate and have this happen, right? Okay, those are your two choices in this post-industrial society.
Of children in South Korea are simply not born. In other words, in South Korean society, it's inconceivable to have children without a traditional marriage. Being married is a prerequisite for having children. And no, it is not that they are religiously or socially very different, or that they have more appetite for marriage, which I already told you they do not. It is a matter, above all, a cultural one. In the case of single mothers, for example, many face the judgment of a society in which honor and what people will say still carry a lot of weight. And what can I say? In South Korea, having a child out
Invictus, if you really want to, well, it's really not a plan, okay? They want a reduction. They don't want to collapse, and the global elites don't all agree. They really don't, because unless you can get the whole planet to actually do it all at one time, then it's not going to work. And trust believe most of the global elites do not agree with that shit. Okay, has to, a small set of Malthusians that do about reduction. Most of global elites around the world want a stable population. They don't want a population decline. But those are Malthusians. It depends on which ones you talk to. But that is not the that's not the most of the global elite. But Malthusian ideas amongst the elites have been around for a long time. Anyhow, continuing.
Out of wedlock is frowned upon. And let's not even talk about same-sex families. In general, all these things are considered bad for children in this country. And while children in the rest of the developed world don't appear to be turning out so badly, in this video, we're not going to debate family structures. What we care about here is the impact this rigid attitude has on birth rates. The fact is that all this cultural pressure forces women to make a choice, to look for a husband at all costs in order to have children, or to forego motherhood and focus on themselves and their professional careers. And yes, this is exactly what many women are doing, choosing this second option. We'll tell you why in more detail later. But the fact is that in the end, fewer and fewer women are willing to have children, which logically contributes to the fact that the birth rate is at rock bottom. But wait a minute, because that is not all bad news. Fortunately, society is also changing, and little by little, more and more people are accepting motherhood outside of traditional marriage. For example, in the 10 years between 2012 and 2022, acceptance of single motherhood has grown by more than 12 points, from just over 22% to nearly.
And when I tell you it's structural, right? I told you it's structural. Okay, this is an effect, and it's not a cause. Okay, it's an effect, not a cause. That's why me and Nameless we talk about the Mouse Utopia and how this urbanism or this urban society that we created causes this weird change in people. How do people disconnect? It's not just here; it's all over the world. The birth rates in the post-industrial society is almost the same. It's almost like a blueprint. And the only places you don't see it is where? In Africa. We're gonna play a little bit more of this, and we're gonna boot up another one.
35% of respondents. Of course, public institutions are still slower at making progress. For example, the South Korean Mother and Child Health Act's definition of subfertility explicitly refers to a married couple. That is, there is no other possibility for receiving fertility treatment support. One way or another.
China does the same thing, right? Okay. If when they say that this is a patriarchy in the West, especially in the United States, bullshit. Okay, this is a real patriarchy. What he's saying is you cannot have a kid to get fertility treatment, or even for the most part abortions without the consent of your partner.
Another. The system excludes single
women, or i.e. your husband. They don't do the P word over there.
Women from access to fertility or in vitro fertilization treatments. What's more, the South Korean Bioethics and Safety Act says that anyone seeking to perform IVF treatment must have the consent of their partner. In other words, it is taken for granted.
I hate that partnership, man. But that's that Western gender shit, right? Husband.
That these treatments are exclusively for couples, which means that in South Korea, it is, in practice, impossible for a woman alone to have access to them. And not only that, apart from what the law itself says, the South Korean church is also fervently opposed to these techniques for unmarried women. Keep in mind, we're talking about a country where the relationship between politicians and religious congregations is usually very close. And visual politic viewers, all this becomes even more important if we take into account another problem that young South Korean women today do not want to deal with. Basically, the traditional roles that still exist in South Korean society regarding motherhood and marriage. You could say that the professional and personal ambitions of young women in this country have changed much faster than the perception of their role in society.
Yes,
for example, it is.
Yes. In other words, remember saying it's compressed over the last 60 years. Okay. It took us 250 years to get here. It took them 60.
Very, very common in South Korea for men to leave the burden of raising children to women, even if the woman works. In South Korea, children are strictly women's business. And logically, this is not easy to reconcile with modern life and the legitimate personal and professional aspirations of hundreds and thousands.
I understand what you guys are on, but thing is, that's not what we're talking about right now, boss. So kind of stay on topic if you don't mind. Okay. Trying to stay on topic.
millions of women. It's something we've told you many times on Visual Politic. Narratives count. I know we're not talking about heteropatriarchy or anything like that, but about social roles that in the vast majority of the West have already been overcome. But the same has not happened in South Korea, nor in Asia in general. And then, of course, there is also the issue of salary.
Well, the thing is, we just I think it was the Tuesday, we just looked at two single mothers that talked about social roles, right? That want to go back to the old social roles. So that's bullshit. We haven't overcome it.
The desire for careers, and extremely expensive housing, something we talked about in previous videos. Well, the fact is that the sum of all these reasons has led more and more young women to feel that marriage and motherhood are an unnecessary burden, or rather a problem that they have no desire to face. Do you want an eye-popping fact? According to a 2020 survey, 42.5% of South Koreans in their 30s were not married, 13 points higher than in 2020.
Romance booming in South Korea.
What does it sound like? That sounds like the United States on steroids, right?
But marriage no longer the end game.
In fact, of all households in South Korea, as many as 4 out of 10 are single-person households, and 2022 saw the lowest number of marriages since 1970, with fewer than 192,000. In South Korea, young women are less and less willing to get married and take on all that this entails in the culture and society of this country. And you have already seen that without marriage, there are no children either, or at least there are much fewer of them. What's more, divorce is also a taboo in Korean society. Despite being legal, many women who divorce face some form of discrimination, although it is becoming more socially accepted thanks to contemporary Korean TV series and films. That means that a woman is acutely aware that if she gets married, she could have a hard time after divorce if things go wrong. And this, of course, makes many of them even more hesitant to get married nowadays. But there's more. As much as this may surprise you, there is even a women's movement known as the 4 No's. No dating, no sex with men, no marriage, no children. The traditional family is becoming less and less popular among young people in this country. And as you can see, the way things are set up has consequences. But at this point, and now that you know what the main causes of this demographic debacle are, many of you may be asking yourselves a question. What on earth is the government doing to try to solve this situation? Can it do anything? Well, the truth is that, yes, they have done and continue to do things, but you could say that, basically, it seems as if they were desperately trying to do things blindly. You want to hear what is probably the funniest part of this whole story? Well, pay close attention.
Killing flies with cannons.
Let me ask you a question. What if I told you that South Korea has squandered $200 billion over the last 16 years on policies to encourage birth rates? And yes, they have achieved absolutely nothing at all. $20 billion later, the number of births is at historic lows, which, by the way, is a warning to all those politicians who think that this matter can be solved with a checkbook. It turns out the South Korean state has squandered some $12.5 billion every year on birth rate management policies. This is more or less the budget that a country like Spain allocates to defense annually. And as you can see, the result has been zilch. Nada. Nothing. Could it be that South Korea is the perfect example of how the birth rate cannot be encouraged with public money? Well,
good. Yes, white boy. Yes.
Maybe yes. Maybe we are facing the wildest example we could see. But that's not the worst of it. The worst is that the government continues to opt for this path, despite admitting that it does not work.
Korea to triple baby payments after it smashes own record for world's lowest fertility rate.
To give you an idea,
Money doesn't work. Okay. What do women say in the West? That money works, right? Money only exacerbates the problem. But we've seen that in the Black community. Money exacerbates the problem. Okay. The thing is that I have one or two things. Are you going to let them have babies out of wedlock and support them and change the family structure? Or this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen in this kind of society. But let me pull up another one. Where's the other one? I think I like this one. Let's try this one. This is another one. It gives it just a different perspective. I mean, we could go on forever. The thing is that I'm gonna show you these, and then I'm gonna show you a couple charts, and this is where I'm first post. I think this is India. Birth rate 0. Okay, it could happen. I'm independent, shrunk. Well, the thing is, it's not about what they do. Thing is, are they doing it consciously and know what they're getting into? And a lot of times they don't.
It's the season of strikes. Labor strikes in Britain, pension strikes in France, and women on strike in South Korea. In fact, they've been striking for a few years now. Against what? Marriage and childbirth. Women in South Korea are shunning both. The latest fertility data is ringing alarm bells in Seoul. The population is shrinking, And all the money and policy solutions are not changing the tide. Women in South Korea remain on strike. They say they're protesting because the society views them as baby making machines. It's become a movement of sorts, a movement called the Four No's. What are the four no's? No to dating, no to sex, no to marriage, and no to childbearing. That's what the women of South
The thing is, what I don't like about comments like this, okay, is that you forget that this is an agreement. This is an agreement between men and women, okay? You have no more power over women than they have over you. This is an agreement. If you try to force this by making it illegal for women to work, vote, and illegal for them to own their own property, okay, you can try that. You see how long it's going to work. Why do you think they stopped? They allow them to work, allow them to vote and all that kind of stuff in the West. Is because they face the same goddamn problem in the 18th century, going into the 19th century. That's why they allowed them to do it. So what you're gonna do? Strap them to the bed and force them to have kids and force them to raise those kids? You think this is not gonna leak out? Basically, your environment is it's too late. Okay, it's too late for that. Unless you can go back to the Stone Age or back to the agrarian age. Okay, if you can't do that, that shit's not gonna work. And how you gonna vote it if the percentage of women in a democracy is more than men? Women actually gonna vote for that? They're gonna agree to that? How you gonna get them to agree to it? You're gonna try to do it by force of arms? Really? Here's the thing. How's come? Oh man, we're not, dude. If you don't get it, if you don't get it, we've been going over this shit for 5 years. If you don't get it, man, I'm not gonna explain it. I'm not gonna explain it. Go do your own research. I'm not gonna debate shit if you don't know it. I'm not gonna debate it. Handmaid's Tale, yeah, that's why it was a tale. Written by a feminist, as a matter of fact.
Korea say, look at the survey from 2022. It shows 65% of Korean women do not want children. The question is why, and the reasons are
65% of Korean women don't want children.
many, starting with money. The cost of raising children is high. In fact, South Korea is said to be the most expensive country to raise a child, because housing is unaffordable. There are long working hours and bleak job prospects. So finances play a big role, but there's also a major cultural factor and society's impossible expectations from a mother. She's expected to do it all. And this, by the way, is not limited to South Korea. Across the world, so many women have had enough and they're opting out, not from their jobs, but from motherhood. They say it's a personal choice, and it is, but it also has widespread public ramifications. South Korea has the world's lowest fertility rate. In 2022, it broke its own record. What's a country's fertility rate? The average number of children a woman will have in her lifetime. For South Korea, it was 0.8 in 2021. The year before, it was 0.84. What does this mean? It means one woman would not even have one child on an average. How does that compare with other countries? Look at Japan. In 2021, its fertility rate was 1.3, and Japan too has
At night B, if you don't know, I'm not gonna explain it to you, man. I just said I'm not gonna explain it to you. Okay, go look it up.
the shrinking population. In the US, it was 1.6. Do you know what's the highest? 7. One woman would have 7 children on an average. That's in Niger.
Niger is a agrarian society. That's why. Okay, that's what it used to be in the United States in early 1800s. The average was 7 per woman. Right. Right after the Industrial Revolution, it dropped to below 3.
What's the ideal rate? 2.1. To maintain a stable population, a country needs a fertility rate of 2.1. Any figure above that indicates population growth. South Korea's birth rate has been dropping since 2015. In 2020, it recorded more deaths than births for the first time. This is called a population death cross. And
Isn't South Korea a communist country? Jay Jermaine, you mean the Democratic Republic of South Korea? Is that the communist country you're talking about? North Korea is a communist country, sir. Well, you can't protect Africa because you have to modernize Africa. Anyhow, we finish this.
Fallout can be serious. Schools are facing a shortage of students. The military is relaxing rules for enrollment. The workforce is shrinking and the pension of retirees is at risk. Experts say South Korea needs urgent course correction, else it would face a major labor shortage within a decade. So what is Seoul doing? They're spawning robots. South Korea is developing robots and artificial intelligence for the workforce. It is also throwing money at the problem. Seoul has spent over $200 billion in the last 16 years to boost its population, but it seems it still cannot convince its women to procreate. Neighboring Japan is battling a similar crisis, a declining birth rate and a rapidly aging population. Its Ministry of Health says it recorded less than 800,000 births in 2022, the lowest in more than 100 years, the first since 1899. Japan also has one of the highest life expectancies in the world. Nearly 1 in 1,500 people is over the age of 100. What about China? In 2022, China's population shrank for the first time in 60 years, and Beijing has no one to blame but itself. It is the second most expensive place to raise a child after South Korea. It has also had some draconian policies. For decades, China limited families to a single child. It was meant to control the population, but it's now proving to be counterproductive. Which brings us to the most populous country in the world now, India. How are we faring? Not bad at all. Why? Because 50% of our population is under the age of 30. It is also the world's fastest growing major economy. India's challenge is to harness this demographic dividend, to turn this young population into a growth engine, to provide the right skills and create enough jobs. The right policy push, India can turn into the biggest talent hub in the world.
And that's the problem with demographics, right? They really don't understand this stuff, and that's what people get scared of, is when your leaders don't understand the shit. Okay, they don't understand it. They do not understand it. And see, I'll play one more, and we will go through the charts. So where's the last one? Nah, not gonna do BBC. There's one good one we actually had them. They had the Korean women talking for themselves. I don't want that one. Is it Vice? I think we might play Vice. Let's try Vice. I think that's the one. The thing is, what I really want you guys to see is to know that this is structural. Okay, this is structural. This is not. This is actually structural. This is not intentional. Okay, they have no clue about what they're doing. This is not something that they're causing.
Thousands are here today in Seoul protesting against what they describe as a growing anti-feminism movement in South Korea. Women fear that their rights are at stake because men are claiming to be victims of reverse discrimination and state that feminism has gone too far.
In South Korea, a battle between men and women is spilling out onto the streets. Gender equality has always been elusive here, but a younger, louder generation of women is demanding that things change. This focus on women's rights was triggered by the global Me Too movement, which began back in 2017. As women across the world shared their stories, women here also stepped forward.
최근 연예인들의 성폭행 문제가 끊이지 않고 있습니다.
옆자리에 앉아서 허리를 감싸 안고
증거는 될 수 없지만 저한테는 있었던 사실이에요.
The allegations implicated politicians and priests. Actors and artists were named and shamed.
정말 부끄럽고 참담합니다.
But as the allegations grew, so did resentment among some men.
이것도 페미니스트 분들이 남성의 성기에 좀 집착을 하는 부분이 있다.
저는 얘네들의 발화 권력이 정말 무서운 부분이라고 봐요.
정말 무소불위의 권력이죠. 그리고 저는 이제 남성성이 거세되면 거세될수록 강간이 많이 일어날 거라 생각해요.
Lee Hyun-jun is 29 and works as a manager at a pet food company. At the height of the Me Too movement, he joined a group that opposes feminism. They call it gender harmony.
사실 그 당시에는 페미니즘이 근데 그 인기에 힘입어 남성들에 대한 매도, 뭐 조롱, 모욕, 굉장한 많은 일들이 벌어졌습니다. 그래서 남성들이 화가 나서 여성들을 멀리하기 시작했어요. 그 상태를 보고 있자니 가만히 있을 수가 없었습니다.
How are they being humiliated by women?
뭐 고추가 3cm니 뭐니 거기에다가 남성들은 모두 잠재적 강간 범죄자, 남성들은 하등 쓸모없는 존재.
What do you think the consequences of the Me Too movement were in South Korea?
네, 남성들이 여성을 믿지 않게 됐습니다. 그래서 미투를 당할 수 있으니까 하이힐을 신은 여자가 계단 아래로 떨어지고 있는데 거기에서 닿으면 미투 운동을 당할 수 있으니까 자리를 피해버리고.
And you mentioned false rape accusations. I mean, do you think that's a significant amount?
지금 많다고 생각합니다. 다른 나라에 비해서 좀 많을 수도 있다고 생각해요.
Okay, we've seen data though from the Supreme Prosecutor's Office that less than 1% of rape cases in South Korea are false.
그러니까 강간 무고가 1%가 안 된다는 말씀이시죠. 실제로 네, 피해자의 증언만이 오직 유일한 증거가 되는 경우가 굉장히 많거든요. 사람이 있을 수도 있겠구나라는 생각이 들고 있긴 합니다.
Hyunjin and his group have plenty of supporters. His YouTube channel has more than 61,000 followers. Today, they showed up to live stream the International Women's Day rally.
여성주의 평화 안보 구축하라!
저는 개인적으로 되게 뭐랄까 이런 감정들만 있는 내용들이라고.
Doesn't this kind of stuff look familiar like the 60s and 70s? Okay.
할까요?
그 예시로 차별금지법을 강력하게 통과를 시켜야 된다라고 얘기를 했었는데 이게 사실은 표현독재법이죠.
So Hyunjin is trying to find someone to speak to right now.
남자들한테 하실 말씀 많으실 것 같은데 좀 듣고 싶어요. 안 들어주실 거예요? 너무하시네. 젠장. 자, 그러면 부스를 돌아보겠습니다. 한국 남자들한테 하고 싶은 말이요.
진짜요? 저 진짜 해도 돼요?
진짜 하세요. 진짜 하세요.
해주셨으면 좋겠어요.
좀 씻고 다녀라. 씻고 다녀라.
평등을 위해서 남자들은 씻고 다녀야
네,
된다.
씻고 다녀라. 오줌 싸지 문 닫아라. 시민의식을 높이자는 얘기예요. 예를 들어 화장실 가는데 남녀 공용이야.
Doesn't that sound familiar? Just basic women shit, right?
갔는데 문 열어놓고 안전했으면
안전해야 되고.
여자들이 어떤 고통 겪는지 알아요.
공감해줘야 되고, 그죠?
성공주의가 좀 그쪽에서도 드시는 것 같은데. 저한테 막 화내 시민. 저는 여기 가만히 있는데 얼굴 여기까지만 나오시잖아요.
아니 약간 아니 프레임이 약간 쉬워졌어. 성공주의라는 얘기를 난 처음 들어봤어.
So Hyunjin is speaking to some feminists right now, and it's getting a little bit heated. They're having a disagreement.
So you think it's just black people, huh? You think it's just this is just black women and black men? I keep telling you, this is global. Telling you this is global. Let's play one more and go ahead, drop the link into this in case y'all want to look at it. We'll play one more and then we'll get the charts and then we will. Well, that's the South Korean manosphere. That's why the manosphere and people like Kevin Samuels and even Andrew Tate are taking off because this is global. Even in China, it's global. Do one more. So where is it's not them. The thing is, this is relatively new, and it's something that hell nobody knows what to do with. Now, even the people that are that running the country, they have no idea what to do with this. They don't have a clue how to fix this. The biggest way to fix this is to de-urbanize. Darda, appreciate you. I have no problem with women wanting equality, wanting to make their own choices. Problem comes when females age out and expect men to come save them. Y'all not baby factories. Cool. You're not your 304 retirement plan. Well, that is true. But the thing is, has bigger ramifications than just baby factories. That means it's not an individual thing. It's actually a very nasty societal problem. If you don't have workers coming in beneath you, man, you're gonna have a problem within a generation. Okay, they already have a problem. Okay, I mean they talk about demographics on a daily. You know, when it comes to China, you're gonna get old before you get rich and all that kind of crap. Okay, that is a very distinct demographic, economic, and societal problem when you don't have young people coming up from the bottom. And what normally happens if you don't have enough and you start this population decline is what's going to happen is other faster growing cultures will eventually take over. That's the issue. It's fine if everybody's declining at the same rate, but what happens if they're not? What's going to happen? those young men, or those young people, will eventually subsume you. That's what's happening in Europe right now. Where did it go? I just had it. I just had it. That's why I want to show it to you. I'm trying to give you guys a peek into how these things are constructed. I'm not trying to, tell you what to do. This is a peek, that when you look at other societies, that gives you a peek into your own. I just saw it. Maybe I didn't. There it is. This is just a short one. This is like I said, this kind of stuff is going on right now, and we are ahead of the curve. That's why I want to keep you guys ahead of the curve. Actually, we talked about this before. We talked about this before, but we're ahead of the curve.
저는 A입니다. 저는 비원 결심 2학년 차. 태어났을 때부터 항상 비원이었고. 페미니즘을 배우고 비혼에 대해서 공부하게 되면서 오히려 나의 삶을 좀 더 내 중심적으로 계획을 하고 좀 주체적인 삶을 살 수 있게 된 것 같습니다. 지금 엄마나 할머니의 모습을 보면서 가정에 굉장히 종속된 여성의 모습을 봤어요. 그래서 자연스럽게 이제 결심을 하게 됐고 성인이 된 후에도
In other words, it's already a problem. Dr. Thunder, appreciate you. Akil, it seems that modernization has revealed women's disdain for men. Basically, how you organize people. It's how you organize people. Okay. And when you had a way of organizing people that's been around for 50,000 years, and the environment changes where that doesn't suit your environment anymore, then how do you Scott, great, appreciate it. Keep the truth coming. How do you actually adjust for it? How do you solve this problem? Because they don't have a way of solving this problem. They threw $200 billion over the last a decade and a half at this problem and can't solve it. This is some anti-life. Well, it's called the Mouse Utopia. Why do you think we showed you the Mouse Utopia? Okay, and how people react to certain environments, how mice react to certain environments, right? It's following exactly what the Mouse Utopia in Calhoun's work actually said, right? These conditions are making human beings react in a certain way, where they can't get together, they don't want to have kids, they don't want to marry, they don't want a couple. We see that with disease, right? Disease cannot figure out how to get together. So let me pull this up real quick. Okay, these are some of the stuff is interesting. Okay, some of the stuff is really interesting. Start with that one. Share screen, window. All right. Okay, this is just a chart I pulled, right, just off the web, right? Okay. Notice with the crossover point of the gender ratio, right? The gender ratio was obviously male, right? Almost 101 per 100 women in 1990, right? This is just what, 30 years ago, right? Right in the middle. Look at the crossover point. The crossover point. When it got to be 1-to-1, that's when you start to rise of what we call feminism, right? And as the the amount of women actually, the gender ratio actually increases, the problem gets worse, right? Because we're here, okay? We're here. This is 2020. We're here, and as it increases, the problem actually gets worse. Yeah. Women have always had a disdain. Just let these women run wild on my matriarchy trash and get yourself an immigrant in Chicago. Hold up the race. It's trash. Well, the thing is, what we're trying to say, it has nothing to do with the individual women, right? Because you go to Colombia. Colombia has the highest out of wedlock birth rate in the world, right? The thing is, and they don't have the what we call the they have what they call a soft patriarchy. Okay, this is a harsh patriarchy that doesn't allow for out of wedlock births. Guess what happened to the birth rate? You know, the environment has changed. So that's what I'm trying to show you. And then look in 1960, the GDP was what, less than $1 billion. Okay, as the GDP goes up, these effects. Let's go. Let's look at 2011, right? 2011, just before 2015. Look at the spike after 2011, right? The spike in GDP. Okay, that's when all these problems start showing up. As you get wealthy, and as women can survive on their own, okay, these problems start showing up. The thing is, how do you solve them? And sure, if you went to each country and saw either the out of wedlock birth rate increase or um, feminism pop up, you probably see something very similar. Last one, and I'll take a few minutes to invite people up. Okay, this is another one on the gender ratio, right? Okay, it's fairly even, and then all of a sudden the women take off, right? As far as the number of men, right? If you look at it, right, as the gap gets wider as far as the gender ratio, right, these problems start to increase. Look at the gender ratio going down, okay, as far as the men to women. In other words, basically what they're becoming is black people, because this has been a problem in the black community. That's why the black community is a gynocracy. This has been a problem forever in the black community. This out of whack gender ratio. It's not equivalent. So if we start looking at these factors that go into what we call feminism and what we call a gynocracy, because in my opinion, the United States is a white gynocracy. Okay, because men don't have no rights. Because I was reading, I was actually looking at the BBC. I didn't play the one with the BBC because they're real strict about copyrights, and I don't feel like getting this thing struck. Okay, so but what she was saying is, when this one woman that was a part of the 4B movement, right? She was raised by her father and her grandmother, her paternal grandmother, because her mother left or divorced her husband. Guess who got the kids? It wasn't her. She couldn't take the kids. The kids belonged to her, belonged to the father. Reproductive rights belong to the man, not the woman. All she can do is not participate. It's reversed in the United States. So our idea of patriarchy, okay, what a patriarchy actually is very loose. At most, this is actually a very weak patriarchy, right? Go to China, go to Korea, go to Japan. Those are very strong patriarchy. Go to Singapore, very strong patriarchy. Go to Greece, very strong patriarchy, right? They don't play that shit. Go to Russia, very strong patriarchy. What we have in the United States is I don't think you have a patriarchy, but the thing is, some people want to say that as well. I was telling a young lady, you can follow this plan. You can follow this plan, but guess what's going to happen to your fertility? I said, I have noticed on average couples having more daughters, and when men have daughters and no sons, they end up supporting feminism, which unfortunately makes sense in protecting your offspring. It's more than just protecting your offspring, because it's not what their daughters do when they're small things, when they grow up and become adults. If you have a said democracy, okay, any system is an agreement between people, right? Okay, you can't have half your population disagree, especially when they have to raise your children and have your children. Okay, when that shit breaks down, it doesn't work. You have a strong patriarchy that's doing everything, just spend a whole bunch of money and throwing a whole bunch of laws at these women, and guess what? They're not budging. So the shit that you're saying about controlling women, that shit don't work. Okay. And you talk about a highly patriarchal, highly authoritarian country that the United States does not have. South Korea is not a liberal country. It's not a liberal country. So I'm trying to tell you guys and get you guys to think. Okay. Your assumptions are probably wrong. Patriarchy is just about dead in the West. The patriarchy is dead in the West. Okay. You have Me Too movements that are going global. In fact, it's infecting the rest of the world. It's infecting the rest of the world. But those are my charts. I'll give you guys like maybe. I don't think Gigi's rolling right now. So let me check and see if anybody's rolling before I invite anybody up. I don't want to get nothing started when you guys get your mouth all set for a panel, and then no, I don't think Gigi's not rolling. Okay, he doesn't have anything going on. Okay, Ed is live, but I will drop the link. You guys can come up, and we'll give about 30 minutes. So don't be shy and don't be long-winded. Okay. There's the link if you guys want to come up. But that's what I want to show you, okay? Because a lot of stuff that we're doing, okay, that we're showing you, it may not always seem that it applies, okay? The thing is, it applies more to just than us, okay? There's a reason that these movements are happening, and a lot of this push that's going on between trying to solve this problem between men and women that the Brookings Institute is trying to do with them trying to sack Andrew Tate. They're trying to keep the backlash from the men from happening. Okay, now Korea, China, Japan, Europe, and the United States. Right. That's why I say we need to be in front. We need to be in the front of this thing.
Hey, what's going on?
AB, what's up?
Well, I know this is kind of, I don't want to get too religious here, but
you can. That doesn't matter. Say what you feel.
To part of me thinks, I could be wrong, that this is God's way of showing other societies what Black people are going through.
I don't know about that, but yeah, it could be. You know, if you want to go that far, but I think it's just structural. Let me read. Akil says,
a little bit that too.
Yeah.
But
go ahead, finish your thought.
But wow, turns out we're not the only one dealing with gynocracy problems.
Yeah, because the thing is that what and this is something that Kenneth Clark was trying to say in the mid-60s. It's a structural problem. It's not a it's not a cultural problem per se. It's a structural problem. He's been trying to say that for before till the day he died. Right? Nobody believed him until now. And said so we advance the world, but how we bring men and women together they have to exist. The thing is, how do you organize them now?
Yeah,
that's the problem.
How do you get them to agree? Because they're clearly not, and nobody's agreeing. Not even the white folk are agreeing with each other now.
Well, yeah, because what the thing is, you give women money, you give them rights, and give them all this kind of crap. The thing is, at the end of the day, do they really want this when they actually grow up and actually advance? Right? What we're finding out is, guess what? The white woman feminists do not want this shit. Okay. And the thing is, they don't want it. But the thing is, you expect men to uphold a bargain they didn't agree to. That's where the problem comes in. Okay. You try to put shit on the men that they don't agree to. And guess what the men are saying? Fuck this, we out. That's why 61% of your Z's are not having sex. It's not because they can't, it's because it's not worth it to them anymore. At some point, it's not worth it.
They're lying flat and saying it's not worth
it's not worth it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they said it's a lying flat or great resignation equivalent, right? They're trying to equalize the thing. I said, okay, you will have it effectively destroyed your own society. Is that what you want? Is it worth it to you? Go ahead, Dessa.
Yeah. What I was going to say is because I like this presentation because it
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it brings home the scope and scale of the problem.
Okay.
This is If
Mhm.
anybody's played Final Fantasy X, we know
Mhm.
about Spirit. This is a death spiral that we're in.
Yes.
And basically, what happened is the governments, with each, because they're the ones who are creating this environment, the governments alongside with the markets.
Right.
And what they've been doing is that they've been playing Russian roulette with everybody. They've been
Yes.
pointing the gun at our head, and then they don't even know, as we're finding out right now on this end of history, what the outcomes of these policies are.
Until it's too
Humans
late.
were not made to be individualistic.
Yes. No, they
That
weren't.
is not our design.
Nope.
And
they
so
find,
this is the outcome.
yeah, it's the outcome. And they find out too late because they think they can actually buck the system. And the women did too. Okay, we can we can actually socialize women into being men. And it hasn't worked out too well.
Yeah. And the other part about this thing is that I think we underestimate the extent at which culture does follow the laws that government sets. Because, you know, a lot of this stuff, like, let's take something simple like, I don't know, 1930s, it was fine for, you know, young girls to marry older men around 14 and 15 years old.
Right.
Now we're complaining that there's something wrong with that, as though biology cares about what we feel and what our laws are.
Exactly. Basically, your eggs are fresh at 12, 13, right? Biology says when you're ready to have babies, you should start. Okay. But the thing is, because you want to educate women, okay, and make them better workers, you extend that to 18. Now it's what the if you looked at it, the average age of marriage from in Korea went from 18 to 31 within what, 50 years, less than 50 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you think
drop
they're
in the
gonna do?
bucket.
Drop in the bucket. You know, let me read some super chats real quick, if you guys don't mind. Okay, one well-placed conflict where women can be drafted, feminism will evaporate. Not necessarily. I don't think so. The more it's discovered that these issues are structural, the more it seems that though this is all inevitable. In a sense, yeah, but the thing is, they don't know what the thing is. This has never happened before.
Yeah.
You can't anticipate something that's never happened before. So smoking cigarettes is a personal choice. You're taxed to hell for it. Tax singles with no children and pass the incentives to families.
They
That's
already have
possible. But the thing is,
Good luck with that.
South Korea just spent $200 billion. Okay. They spend $15 billion a year to incentivize families. Okay. They can't do anymore. Like
Yeah,
I
they
said,
try to. In other words, they try to bribe them, but it just not. It's not having any effect.
it's not happening. That's what they were trying to say. It's not having an effect. And women are saying it's not having an effect. But BGS Tax, interesting video, is more in depth than the one you did on birth rates industrialization. Perhaps. Well, it's interesting because you can understand it. The one I did on birth rates and industrialization was over your head. That's all, sir.
I mean, I just look at it like this. The women wanted equality. Like I said before, women want equality only at the top. They don't want to dig through the dirt like men do. And now that they have to, and now that you've gotten everything you wanted, can't get mad.
Yeah.
Can't get mad.
Oh,
I
well,
can't
tough
get
luck,
married.
okay.
I can't. We don't want to get married. Cool. I got all these bills to pay. Cool.
Yeah. Night B, you can come up, but I'm not gonna bother to argue with you, man. But you can come up if you want to ask the question. Yeah. Go ahead.
Cool. And I'm really like, there's certain shit that doesn't surprise me anymore. You put yourself, you ask for this shit, and then when you get it, you thought there was going to be no taxing. You thought there was going to be no penalties.
Well, or consequences. Yeah. Let me read this real quick. I said, this is from Blackula. BJ More. Could you make a video detailing how to make women pay for a man's time? I'll think about it, man. I'll think about it. Okay. I'll think about it. The thing, it has more to do with what you're offering, what she's interested in. You can. The thing is, are you willing to date a 3 or 4?
Yeah, I just wanted people to understand. I mean, that what's going on culturally, because as the women opt out, so too does the men opt out, and this thing just keeps feeding on itself.
Yeah,
it's a Leviathan, basically.
It's the great Leviathan.
That's why we look at the Mouse Utopia, right?
Yep.
Calhoun's work. He said the same thing, right? As you no longer have a reason to actually organize or have kids, what happens? Whew. Okay.
There's no reason.
Follow the same demographic pattern.
There was a wise man, you might have heard of him, named George Duke. He said, "No rhyme, no reason."
Mm-hmm.
And you got to look at it. When you took away the gender roles and you said you wanted to be equal, and people were starting to say, you've indoctrinated kids for like 50, 60 years to believe this bullshit. What happens? You're going to be held to that shit. See,
Yeah.
that's the difference between men being in charge and women. If we say we want equality, why don't you get 50% of child support? You don't want that. You don't
Well,
want 50% of the hard labor work.
Well, it worked, but if you look at the structure, right? If you look at Korean, the children belong to the father's family, doesn't belong to the women's family. Okay,
Right.
Ain't no 50-50 custody for women, right? If you leave your husband, the children don't go with you; they go with the father. Okay,
Yeah, so Africa, you're saying Africa still has a birth rate because they haven't truly industrialized, or could it be their culture too?
they okay. Prove it to me, sir. Go ahead.
No, I'm asking.
Go ahead. No, I'm no. Yes, no. I what part didn't you understand? I said is because if you look at the demographic charts, right? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
post-industrial have a falling birth rate, falling fertility rate. Pre-industrial, okay, which is where most of Africa is, has a very high birth rate, right? If pre-industrial America had a very high birth rate, like at 7 to 8, right? Okay. If you look at the shape of the demographic chart, okay,
All right.
it'll actually show you exactly where the birth rate and where people are, right? Where their country is. And it exactly reflects the exact same thing. We've actually gone through this for the last 5 years. Okay. We've shown you the demographic charts, showing you the rates, showing you the birth rate, all that shit. We already shown you that stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Showing you that stuff.
So when it comes to America, I don't see it change. I see it just going just to get worse. Pretty much, it's going to get worse.
What has stopped America's population decline?
Immigration.
Yeah. Okay. We've imported almost 40 million people over the last 40 years. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I say, just get you a Venezuelan. It's in Chicago. I said it as a joke though.
Yeah, it's a joke. The thing is, you can, but the thing is, look what's going on in Latin America.
Mm-hmm.
They have the same. They have the same thing.
Look at this. A lot of those writers were not good.
Yeah, your BGS, your prediction is coming to pass again. Women selling poom poom on DoorDash. Well, that's obvious, man. That's what happens. That's economic. Yeah.
If you read the Gospels,
Go ahead. Oh, you dropped out. Okay, let me read this. M. Lavo says, I must admit you introduced the structural word and it put many things into perspective. No chicken wrap, have a shot of tequila and hard fat. I'm trying to keep you guys ahead of the curve. This is shit that you won't see hardly any other place, right? Okay. Especially in the manosphere. I'm not trying to tell you to form a conclusion. These are the facts, okay? And you've seen this over 5 years. It's not something I just came up with yesterday, okay? We've been dropping this for like the last 5 or 6 years, okay? And you've seen this stuff line up in different countries, not just here.
At this point, it should be predictable.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's predictable.
Yeah, which is why selling ass on DoorDash. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my. Well, I told you what I said about coffee girls in 2018.
They coming.
BGS, they never gonna happen. What are you talking about? Oh, but now you have women laying on mattresses in New York City.
BGS, but I live in Texas. I need them to soften up the laws because it's a felony in Texas. So if they soften up them laws, I'm throwing $48 at everything.
Go down to Houston. Buy it all.
Yeah, I know Houston. I don't like Houston though. Well, I got my penicillin, so yeah.
What the thing is in Texas, they started to decriminalize it and they took it back. Okay.
Yes, they did. Because Texas was already overrun with it anyway back when I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have too much sex trafficking.
Yeah.
The cartel.
Yes.
We have the Nazi groups. We have the 1%ers. We have the cartel. We have too much.
You would think with open borders we'd be able to get good coke. You can't get good coke. Got to.
Oh yeah.
Good. Actually, he's gotten. Go back to the 80s and 90s. Cocaine was a kilo of cocaine had gone from $50,000 down to $5. Okay, you can't get it any better. Okay, and and pure coke would kill people. You can get good dope anywhere. You get good if you want to pay for it, you get good dope anywhere. Crack is the purest form of cocaine you can actually get, believe it or not. The most intense form of cocaine that you can actually get. Because you boil away all the imperfections, all you get is a pure cocaine hit. That's why it ran through the black community so hard. And they made it so cheap that people would actually get addicted to it. They're trying to reverse some of this shit now because guess what? You go from coke, from coke to what? Amphetamines, and you go straight to what? Fentanyl.
Before I leave,
Was the cheapest
oh,
high
my
you
bad,
can get.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Before I leave, man, I need them to keep on tearing up the Midwest, man. You know how I feel about them. Just keep it up. Keep on taking the fentanyl, knocking yourself out and being replaced.
It's fine except for one thing. You got to remember, you can't replace these workers, man. At some point, you want. You know what? The thing is, I said the same thing about to this chick, right? You want to burn down the building with you inside of it. Is that what you want to do?
You know, you know the word I could use about me, but I just don't. I don't put you get the energy I put out sometimes, but I just don't say it. But
I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
Trust me,
yeah.
bro. I am a Pan-Africanist. I'm a nationalist.
Yeah.
I'm to my core pro-black. I know what you feel about white
Yeah.
supremacy, but I'm also black pill and a realist. Okay, that shit don't work because if you really felt that way, you would not be in the States in the first goddamn place. Motherfuckers that feel that way, they're still in the States. I question your veracity and your gumption. Okay,
Mine is just getting joy out of seeing it.
You've seen it already. The thing is inevitable.
Yeah.
I said that 2202. I'm gonna ask my partner see if I can find his speech from 2007 called Harry Tubman Said Run, right? Actually going over the end of white supremacy. And guess what? In the pro-black community, I got laughed at. BGS ain't never gonna happen. The white folks gonna rule for 1,000 years. All right.
Nah.
Okay,
I got me a little appointment. I'll holler at y'all. Take it easy. I'm gonna listen to the rest.
I'm on to drop out too because I gotta go see my kids in 10 minutes.
Oh, go on, man. Give him a hug for me, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
But
All right, good
my
luck
whole
with that,
thing is
brother.
this.
Hold on, Amy. Go ahead.
My whole thing is this. And this is to Leon's point. If you want to see them drop out, make sure you got something good to replace it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Catch
All right. All right. Night B, go ahead, man.
Okay, yeah. So I had asked a question in the chat. I mean you dismissed it, but I was asking that like with the whole depopulation agenda like that we heard from Bill Gates. I was wondering like how is this also a form of that?
Where did he target the depopulation at, sir?
He said globally.
No, where you targeted at, man? I thought. Do you know what you're talking about?
Yeah, he mentioned globally though.
No, he didn't. Where did he target it at?
Did.
No, he didn't. Where you target depopulation at, man?
In Africa.
In Africa.
That's not global.
That's not global, sir. Did he actually do that in Europe?
I'm sure they do. Matter of fact, some of those same drugs.
Listen to me. Did he actually target those drugs and that kind of shit in Europe?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Some of them same drugs. Some of them drugs are banned in Europe, but some of them they still use here in America too. Which Bill Gates is homeland to America.
Let me ask you this, right? South Korea is global, right? Why would they pay $200 billion to get the birth rate back up?
I'm sure you have people who are against the whole agenda.
No. They're globalists,
right?
Okay. Why you think the United States banned abortion?
Because the white men are waking up.
No.
Not all white men are Bill Gates.
Okay, man. Go study it, man. Go study it. Go study it. Because you're wrong. Go study it. Okay. Go study it. That's why I didn't want to argue with you, because you don't know what the fuck you are talking about. That's what I want to say. You don't. That's why I didn't want to argue with you. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay? I've gone through this for many years, okay? Because demographic collapse causes a whole bunch of problems. They've been talking about this for fucking 20 years, man. China's going to get old before it gets rich. It's just outline all the goddamn problems of demographic collapse. Okay, can't happen like that. Can't happen like that. They did not do this. This is something that's structural. Okay, they're trying to figure a way out of this trap. They can't. South Korea, Europe, Russia's forcing women to have kids right now. Okay, Eastern Europe's doing the same goddamn thing. They're throwing money at these women to have kids. Okay, they're doing it in the United States. They can't get out of this trap. That's the problem. So if the Malthusians were actually in charge the way you said, they would just let it go. They wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't incentivize. They wouldn't spend no money. Just let it drop. It's going to drop on its own. In fact, they wouldn't have to plan anything. It's actually being done on its own. It's natural. That's what Calhoun actually found out. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's structural. It's not, has nothing to do with this globalist shit. Okay. Now what they're trying to do is basically slow down the population increase in Africa because they're actually going to overtake Europe. They're trying to protect Europe by doing that shit. Okay. That's why Bill Gates is trying to introduce condoms and birth control in Africa to actually slow it down because they can't control it because the natural progress of post-industrial society, Africa's not there yet. They're growing. Okay. What did the chicken India say? We ain't got that problem. In fact, it's to our advantage to actually keep our population the way it is. Most of our young people are under 30. That's what they want. Okay.
Okay. So how does the population in Africa threaten Europe? Because Africa has always had a higher population than Europe. That's never stopped European powers from.
You're a smart ass. You tell me.
Well, I'm asking you. Actually.
No. You're a smart ass because you come up with a smart ass energy. You tell me.
Well, I was asking you.
No. You're the smart ass today, right? Because you kept telling me all the shit that you know. You tell me. Give me the answer.
I'm not a smart ass. I'm just asking you a question.
No. I'm not answering your question. You're the smart one in the room today. You tell me.
I mean, we'll give you that question.
If your girl want to get on, she can get on too.
I mean, still, we'll give you that impression.
The energy you just came up here with.
Asking a question. That's the energy I came up with.
No. Refuting what I was saying. Okay. I paid 3 videos to give you all the answers.
Refuting what you were saying.
Yes, yeah. The Malthusians are actually planning this bullshit. Well, Bill Gates is applying this in Europe. Prove it. I know that's not a fact.
I just told you they've had drugs for a long time. Because he's part of some of the organizations that are behind some of those same drugs that we seen have adverse effects on women's reproductive health. So I'm like, how is that not a global issue?
So is he selling them in Europe?
I just told you.
No. Is he Bill Gates, the Bill Gates Foundation, distributing those things in Europe?
No, of course not.
Where's he distributing them at?
He's distributing them in Africa and in other places of the world.
What other places in the world is he distributing?
Here in America, one.
No,
here in America.
No, he's not.
Yeah. Let me see. Where's
Prove it.
Hold up. Let's see. I'm on my phone. Let me see now.
Oh boy. Anyway, that's what I'm talking about. You're the smartest guy in the room. Answer the question, since you have all the answers. In fact, COVID was intended for the continent. It wasn't. We backfired on their asses. That's what it's intended for.
Beautiful.
Anyway, yeah. Who's next?
Yeah. Let's talk
fun.
That's not. I don't think that's something they want to.
Thank you, Lewis. Yeah. No, the thing is, how long have I been talking about this, Albert?
Wow. Yeah.
Step by step. The thing is, that's why I get tired, man. You niggas don't learn, man. I'm getting tired of this shit.
Oh, his problem is you're wrong, Daddy. But I'll be quiet. Let me shut up.
Okay, no. Depo Provera.
Mm-hmm. How long they've been around, man?
Uh-huh.
How long have they been around?
Let's find out. Let's find out.
You don't know?
No, I mean I'm asking you. Do you know?
Yeah, about 40 years.
Oh, okay. So it's been around 40 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill
So when
Gates.
did it get banned?
Bill Gates didn't. I didn't say it was banned. Bill Gates had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, because it's banned.
Deborah Rivera is not banned. All right, man. Anyway, who's next, man? Go ahead, V. Let him get himself together.
Yo, what's up, EGS? How you doing, bro?
I'm not gonna argue with this shit, man. Basically, you don't have your shit together. Go ahead. What's up,
How
V?
you doing? How you
I
doing?
ain't heard you in a long time, man.
Banned in 1978.
It can't be banned in 1978, nigga, because they're still they're using. A girlfriend of mine was using it.
Exactly.
Can I speak? Why don't you go do your research, man? Okay, I'm not gonna argue about this shit. It's been around since 1978, man. What'd I say? I know women that were actually using, girlfriends are actually using that shit, man, in the 80s and 90s, in 2000s, really. Okay, I know this for a fact. Had to go through this shit. Okay, I know this personally. Bill Gates had nothing to do with Depo-Provera or birth control in the United States, right? He's trying to take the same drugs to Africa for a reason. But you don't know what the reason is because you haven't done your research. You haven't listened to me. I actually said what the reasons were. The thing is, you don't listen to me. You listen to what you want to hear. That's the problem. You don't want to accept the facts. And that's your problem. Go ahead, V.
We good? We good? I can talk. All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we good.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying as usual. Listening. I've been away for a little while just because I've been going through school and everything. But
oh, okay, cool, man.
Cool. Yeah. I'm about to get promoted to captain here shortly, so I'm excited.
Slow clap, man.
slow clap. Yeah. I had a question for you, right? So, and for everybody on the panel, right? All y'all are considered the OGs. Y'all been in the space for 10, 20 years at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was in blogs, all these type of things, since the internet pretty much came out. Who do you all? This is a two-part question. Who is going to be the ones to replace you all? And then second, what do you all hope that our generation that is replacing you all will take this information that you all are giving us and put into action? Like, how do you all?
Well, the thing is, those problems will be passed on to you. We're trying to give you solutions and ideas to actually solve your problems. Okay, whatever you deem is appropriate, because our time has passed. Okay, you guys' time is here. We're trying to give you guys information that we've acquired to actually solve your own problems, instead of complaining about them. Solve them. That's
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's the biggest hope.
That's the biggest hope. That's what you all hope for us going forward.
That's why I'm trying to show you that this stuff is structural. Okay, at some point you have to decide what you want. Okay, like the feminist female, you can make a point with things you will have destroy your own society. Is that what you want? Is that worth it to actually prove a point to men?
Yeah, I think so. I was watching. I don't know if you all go over to the other side of the space. The other racial side of the space, right? And I was watching the video on the guy. There's this guy named Andrew from this place called the Crucible. He like runs in like that crowd, that thought process of like the Nick Fuenteses and stuff about his viewpoint on women.
Yeah,
and he had brought up something that I thought that was like it just snapped in my mind. Like it made so much sense, and it kind of like backed up what you all have been saying. So I know that they're getting this type of shit from you all into the space.
Yeah,
he basically was talking about how there is no such thing as, and I'm not going to say, there's, I feel like some of the things they say is a vitriol towards women because I don't hate women by any means. But I think on their side, it's a little bit of that. But he was saying like everything is about power, right? So worldwide is all about power.
Yeah.
And he's explaining how these women, right, the only reason that they have these rights to even think that they can do anything.
Okay.
And participate in society is because of the rights that have been given to them by men.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know what you all think about that.
Yeah.
And maybe we went, it obviously wasn't the voter base that allowed this to happen.
No, we actually go back and look at me and Gigi going to talking about the end of the patriarchy, right? With Caroline Norton's Custody of Infants Act in 1839, right? that started a whole wave of feminism and suffragettes and voter rights and all this kind of stuff. That's where it started. Okay, and it started because women were taken out of the homes and into the factories. The industrial age actually triggered this whole thing. Okay, your social and physical environment actually changed. Okay, where you didn't actually need as many children anymore because you didn't have a farm to put them on anymore, right? So all this stuff over the last 200 years has changed because of that, right? Now you're going through another change, which is technological instead of industrial.
Yeah, it's really interesting, like seeing like how they. It's almost as if like, and to go to the point of the immigration, right? So America, these European countries, they've allowed these immigrants into the country, obviously for menial labor, correct? Menial labor to fill the jobs that the people who are been here and currently in the places that they reside in whatever region across the world that are a little bit more advanced. And these third world people are coming here. They're having children, and their children are not wanting. They're obviously not going to be on the same level of citizen as their parents were. You would hope that those people would become better citizens and would hope that those people would want more for themselves. But because those jobs are not here for them to get, what are all of these young idle men from not just our own backgrounds and our own lineage of people going to be doing? I feel like they're going to rise. I don't see any other route that could be taken except for what we would call what GG be saying about like the proletariat. Just actually rising up and actually destroying all this shit, because I think that's where it's going.
It's kind of hard, man. The thing is, if you rather than destroy all this shit, you're gonna set yourself back to a dark age, you know. So it's really complex. How do you dismantle this kind of stuff, okay, without breaking the whole thing?
That's what I've been trying to. I've been listening to a lot of stuff, and I've been reading so much. I've about like trying to be like, I see you as like a polymath, like some of the mentors in this space, right? And like I'm trying to figure out like, how do you? There's no way that the boots on the ground can recorrect this ship and unsink this ship. I feel like there are too many holes within the ship. So is it better to jump ship?
Or jump ship to where? It's global.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like jump ship to where? That's where I'm getting stuck at in my studies of all this shit that's going on.
Eventually, what's happening right now is the boots on the ground are changing shit because they're refusing to actually participate in the system. And then so eventually, to correct this problem, the people at the top actually have to do something, right? Because now what they've laid out doesn't work. Okay. If what they laid out doesn't work, they have to change it. Otherwise, it's gonna come apart.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to like freaking. It's just.
It's complex. Better minds than you can't figure it out either.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm finding. Like, and a lot of remember the channel that I mentioned last time? I was like, that's what I've been deep diving into so much. Is that other the channel with the freaking the doctors talking about Ukraine when you were posting that Ukraine video. I can't remember what the channel's called. Starts with a D or something like that.
Duran,
the Duran channel.
Duran. But I'll tell you, key in. Okay, I'm gonna give you some homework, right? If you got time, right? Key in the Google in the YouTube, right? John Mearsheimer, right? Mearsheimer, right? He's a foremost structural realist in the United States, right? Key him in, and also key in Michael Hudson. Okay.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's the Economist, right?
Right. Key them in, especially Mearsheimer, right? Because Mearsheimer is probably closer to your thought pattern because you're in the military, right? He's closer to that. Okay.
And the crazy part is like they're insane. Sorry to cut you off, BJ. I'm so excited about this type of shit, and I know that I'm gonna land the plane.
Okay.
The crazy part is like all of these things, right, going on simultaneously, day in and day out. We don't know what's gonna happen in the Middle East. We don't know what's gonna happen on the freaking Mediterranean Sea, that area. We don't know what's gonna happen in the Black Sea. We don't know what's gonna happen if this is gonna be on the East Asian side. We don't know what's going to happen when it comes to the power ratio that's going on right now between all these countries. And then on top of that, you put another layer of what you all are talking about, which is the birth rates and the feminism, which is happening in the actual social and political space.
Right.
On top of all that, and then on top of that,
yeah,
you have the fact that all of these people that are constantly being pushed down with the economic factor that no one seems to be trying to accept right now in this Keynesian fucking financial system that we find ourselves in the West. It is absolutely mind-boggling to think that there are people out there that are trying to solve this problem, and the amount of facets that they're having to pinpoint
right.
on a day in and day out basis. Everything is just it's fucking insane.
Well, the thing is, okay, you
Fucking
spent
insane. Even with all the tracking, the AI, everything,
Yeah.
you can't fucking track
you,
everything.
you spent 80 years putting this whole system together, right? And now it's coming apart, okay, on all different levels, all at the same time, because of AI, because of the internet, because of how the system was actually put together. We start tearing it apart and separating it, it's going to cut everything, right, all at once, okay, because you're destabilizing this whole global structure all at one time. 8 billion people. That's not easy. There's going to be dislocations. There's going to be a whole lot of problems they have to figure out. So, and a lot of these leaders are going to have to decide whether conflict is worth your society coming apart. You know, it is what it is. Okay, where you spend the money, where you put your focus, what supply lines, what supply chains do you cut, what sanctions do you put on, what's going to happen to your dollar, what's going to happen to your bonds when you make enemies of people that were your friends. What happens? You know, it's complex.
I think the saving grace is like the PSYOP piece is at its peak, in my opinion. I think that the PSYOPs are still correctly working because it's been going on since, obviously, JFK assassinated up until now. These PSYOPs that they put onto the mass population, the masses, are still correct. And they're still working, and they're still capable of, even to the point of making us stay in our homes for months on end.
Well,
So, there's rebellion between people feeling if that's the correct path or not. But I think that small population.
Go read Rand Paul's book about COVID, right? Okay, what he said about COVID, right? Okay, you got the baby. What Donald Trump was afraid of is you got the big boy. Okay, the big boy was what you're worried about. And once Donald Trump figured out that he had the small one, the baby, he said, "Okay, let's go back to what we're actually doing," right? But once you put something like that in motion, it's kind of hard to actually take it back. Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, 40 million people in China died of this shit. Okay.
Yeah, I don't disagree that this was not a real thing at all. Trust me, I 100%. I'm not one of the people that caught it, but I definitely know people in my own immediate family that caught those type of things and were put at very high health risk for it. So I don't poo-poo it at all. But I'm thinking about the actual ability of the government. Maybe I should put it like that: is the ability of the government still to be able to input and carry out policy at mass.
The thing is, you look at China, you look at Europe, man. They could not go out without a mask. And guess what? They adhere to it, right? What happened in the United States? They rebelled. Okay, they didn't go
like crazy. Oh, no man.
We can't impose an authoritarian government on this country. The culture will not accept it, man. Will not.
I agree. I agree.
And there's too many freaking, as a military guy, there's too many freaking guns in the United States. Last thing you want to do is urban warfare. Okay.
I don't got enough, and I got 4.
You got enough. It's not gonna work. Okay, that's why they don't try it. They didn't even try it when it came down to COVID. We're not even gonna try it. Okay, just feed them so they don't get upset. Okay, that's what he did. Go ahead and land your plane, man.
Yeah, last thing is it's just amazing just to think about all this type of stuff, and I think that, like you said, it does pain me to hear about you saying like you want to give up, but I think not give up, but like you don't want to continue to talk about this because it feels like beating a dead horse at some point. Talking to some people, but I think that is what's needed. I think that you need to be missed for a while, BGS, and I think that you need to. Just for, even if it's not, I'm not prescribing this. I think for your own sanity, I think it is great to just sit back 2-3 months, let these people fucking figure this shit out themselves, and then just come back better than ever. Because at this point, like, if these people don't understand with all the resources that you've given them of your own content, and then the other people that you've posted them onto, for how to find the answers to some of the questions that they have, especially young gentlemen that are my age, because like you said, your time is over. Or the people, the content creators about, making policy, making change within the nation, whatnot, is not over, but it's not as impactful as what we could be because our population, our demographic of age is different. And I just think it would be great, man. Just sit back, take a month, 2 months at BGS. You got to chill out in Cali and enjoy life, man. Because at this point, these motherfuckers are just dumb to me at this point. Every time they call in and they try to argue over some bullshit, I'm just like, that's why I don't come up on the streets. I'll be like, dude, I don't even want to sit and listen to these fucking retards because I came to hear you talk. You know what I'm saying? And that'll be the last of that I say. I appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
My Patreon said, hey, man, just get 1,000 of us at $50 a piece and retire. Okay.
I'm telling you, you should, man.
That's what they told me. Okay.
You should.
And leave these people behind. But I promised Dr. Johnson I wouldn't. Okay.
Got it. Peace. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Thanks, V.
Hey, what's up, BGS?
What's going on?
Hey, what was the name? What was the name of that book about Henry Kissinger in China?
Oh, on China by Henry Kissinger.
Okay. Now with Henry Kissinger, I guess he had no more baby's blood to drink, and he kicked the bucket.
Yeah.
Who would be the new liaison, you think, between the West and China?
Evidently, it looks like it's going to be, what's his name, the governor for California.
Newsom, really?
Evidently, Xi invited Newsom to come have a talk. That means, okay. Evidently, Soros and Kissinger put in a good word. I was actually shocked myself. So look into that because Xi invited him to come speak to him directly. Where he didn't invite Biden or any one of Biden's accolades, could have invited Bill. Yeah. So why him? Why Newsom?
Maybe less of a psychopath.
I don't know.
Maybe less of a warmonger.
Well, I don't know. Xi absolutely. Well, thing is that Kissinger, when shit broke down, Xi said, "I don't want to talk to anybody else. Give me Henry. Put Henry on a plane at 100 years old." And what did he say when he first greeted him at the plane? Welcome, old friend.
Welcome, my old friend.
Yeah. Why? Because that's why I say Un-China is a very good book because Henry Kissinger actually understands those people. He actually does. That's why it's just a book.
I just ordered it right now off of Amazon. Thanks, PGS.
He actually understands the book. That and his other book, World Order. I would suggest that one too. It kind of explains kind of the structure that this stuff is actually built on.
Okay.
Like whereas evil or not, man, I don't know. I can't speak to his soul. I don't particularly like the guy, but the thing is, guess what? He knows more about this shit than we do. For the last 60 years? 60 years of his life.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken,
go ahead.
Most of your presidents in the last 20 years have gone to Henry Kissinger, even Obama. Oops, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, Obama, with Nixon, Ford, Reagan. When they need help, guess who they call, right?
I stand corrected. The last 50 years.
Yeah. Who do they call? There's a reason Henry Kissinger exists at his age, right? You don't have to get out. Why do they put Henry Kissinger on a fucking plane going to China? Because nobody else, he wouldn't talk to anybody else. There's a reason for that. Whether you like him or not, okay? I don't particularly like the guy, but the thing is, I'm black pill now. Like has nothing to do with it, okay? Just like Troy said about to his son. Like ain't got shit to do with it. It's called being pragmatic. What does he know, and why did they pick him? Why did they pick Newsom out of all the people he could have picked to invite him to be a liaison to China, right? And then Xi actually came after, according to what he heard from Newsom. And so there's some things that are going to get ironed out with Xi being meeting with Biden. I think the Israel thing is probably one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But he had. I'm trying to figure out from South Sea, what does Xi give back? Because it had to be an exchange. He had to give him something. Anybody jump in?
Yo, BGS, one thing I could say is that, I realized that the younger me was actually pretty much right or spot, on point and everything about like where the
Okay.
future is going.
Okay.
And one thing I realized is that, yeah, low-key, I just want to plug my brain up into the matrix and get out of here, because it's just like, dude, I really do like, give you all the praise and respect, because even with me, I'm looking at it, all of this, like all these holes and all this stuff. I'm like, I can't fix all of this. I want to give up and walk away, because it's just like, no matter, like the more you learn, the more you realize we really are in a hole. Like we're not even a frog in a well. We're like, I don't know, like a frog in the core of the earth, damn near now.
Well, the thing is that the thing is that Clark and Monahan saw a pattern. They didn't think it would get this far. The thing is that pattern has been replicated all over the world. The thing is, okay, what is it? What is the pattern that they saw and how to fix it? Because they gave remedies how to fix this shit, right? Okay. Monahan, Clark, and also Calhoun gave remedies how to fix this stuff, right? Thing is,
Yeah,
are you going to
but
take the remedies?
sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's that's the problem. None of these people on top want to take the remedies or anything. They won't do it because they're selfish. And it's the same thing. I'm like in the Ed state of mind. It's like when they ask like, oh, what would you do in this situation? I'm like, I would have never got us into this situation in the first place. Y'all really fucked it up. You couldn't add. Like, you seen it was going on. You guys were calling us a canary in a coal mine, but you just sit there and let this happen until it's too late.
They had no clue they would spread this far.
You didn't think it would happen to them.
And
Yeah, they didn't think it, but it still came. It was like, dude, you should have.
including your own women, because white women and black women put a stop to all that, put a kibosh to all that shit, and still are.
Then we're fucked. BGS, we're fucked. I'm trying to see the bright side of all of this stuff, but it's just like, God damn, bro.
There is no bright side unless women change. There is no bright side. Okay, they have to change, and there's the white women are already seeing that they have to change. That's why you see the rise of red pill white women. This shit is fucked up. We got to change what we're doing, otherwise we're going downhill. They see it. Black women haven't seen it yet. They see it, but they haven't accepted it yet. They still believe. That's why I played you that video with the. I think she was Greek. It's from somebody said she was Greek. Okay, with the white single mother and the black single mother, completely different outlooks. Okay, black one still believes in hope and manifestation. And I'm me, and I just haven't been put out there.
Like that video the other day you played.
Yeah.
That was really the show of it.
Another one chick is red pilled already. Look, I'm willing to die on my cross because that's what it is. I married some guy from Walmart, right? The black chick is not with that yet. She's still blue pills, swallowing them.
Yeah, I have to give the white girl credit. She's like, I know where I'm at, and it's my fault.
You see, that's why I'm still playing a lot of red pill white women, like Vinker and like this chick Happy Wife School. Okay, I'm playing these chicks because they're getting it. Even like people like Psychax, right? Urban, right? Okay, they're getting it. Okay, they're getting it because they see this. That's the answer, right? Black women refuse because they actually want to stay in charge. That's their problem. Okay, they want us to go back to what we were. They want black men to go back to the 50s. That's really what they want.
Are they going to give 50 kind of? Are they going to be 50s kind of women? No,
I don't want no 50 kind of women either. Like, screw them. Like, they are terrible women too. I don't care. Like, oh yeah, they're like, yeah, they will do their job as a wife, but at the same time, that attitude, the bitch could burn in hell.
Actually, red pill monger, they're not chameleons. Okay, if you look at Vinker's been doing that for a long time, man. And this chick that is just counseling women, okay, they need a fix because the shit they're doing is not working. They got to get red pilled. It's either red pill or die at this point. And I'm cool with dying. Like the Korean women, like the chick said, I want a 4B process in the United States. I said, cool, it destroy your own society. But I'm black pill. I'm cool with it. Go ahead and try it. You see how it works. Have your birth rate drop to 0.78 in a big country like this, okay? And see what happens in 10 years, okay? The United States will not be what it is, okay?
They're already trying to reverse it.
Yeah.
Another thing too is just like the military really like, black pilled the shit out of me. And like I be trying to what's it called? I don't really speak my actual thoughts so much because when I do speak it scares people because I'm like, dude, if you really want to solve these issues, you're gonna have to do some extreme shit. We're in some extreme times, and I don't think you really want my answer because I could solve it, but it's the way how I could solve it is not the way you're gonna like. It's not gonna be pretty.
Ain't nobody gonna accept a setback in lifestyle, man. It's not gonna work that way. Most people won't. Okay, just to fix this shit until it's too late.
And that's when like I'm just gonna stay in my corner.
Yeah, MGTOW monger. 70% of men are all MGTOWs now. Okay, what do you want? Okay, is that shit working? At some point, the protest has to end. All right, you're gonna have to figure this shit out unless you want to slowly decline it into nothing. If you want to do that, that's fine. I don't think that's what you want.
That's why, like, what's it called? My rule of thumb in life is like, I kind of take it as like if a nuke is coming, is if I can't like what's it called? I'm not outside the radius, to get away from all the out of blast zone or anything. I'm going dead center. I'm just going to suck it up. I'm rolling my blunt, and just gonna get vaporized. I just and that's like how black pill. I'm like, I just take it as is. I'll write it out for y'all. Like if you're gonna do this,
do you want to be vaporized instantly, or you want to die slowly of radiation?
Vaporized instantly. I'd rather take that shit.
Okay.
Hey BJS, can you put my camera on?
Hold on a second. And say dropping off my golden apple. I appreciate you and what you do in spite of all the nonsense you deal with. Non-believers just know you've made an impact on this black man's life. Thank you. Appreciate you, KMS. Okay. Go ahead, Lewis. Turn your camera on. Where are you? There's your solo. Okay. Damn, what the fuck is that? 120. What the hell is that? $120. How much is that? Oh, 41. Okay. What is that? A turkey? Jesus Christ. Turkeys used to be free. Good Lord.
How much?
$41.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm glad I saved some parts of the turkey I got.
Yeah. All right. All right. All right. We got about 20 more minutes. Y'all get in. Go ahead.
Man, I'm glad I saved some of the parts of the turkey I got. I don't have to go buy another one. Good Lord, $40?
Yep. Go ahead, Salchi. Jump in.
Good evening.
What's up? What's up, number 2?
Oh, the force called me on to this one.
Okay, why so?
Man, I've been saying it for a while, man. I've been saying it's over. And what I mean when I say it's over, people think it's some kind of dystopia. No, what I'm saying is that those who are talented, those who aren't, the haves and have-nots, it's accelerating. And it's not going to slow down. The governments around the world, they know it.
Yeah.
This is why I'm saying I don't understand how these. I get it now because I sometimes my logic gets in the way. These guys, their worldview, they don't want to expand their worldview, and they want to stick to being a liberal or Republican, all sort of nonsense. At the end of the day, none of that shit matters. That's all surface level crap.
Mm-hmm.
And if guys cannot understand and put on their thinking caps, this is why I keep on saying it's over. You've already lost.
Yeah.
You're so far behind. This is why I say these things. You don't have time for these remedial, in my opinion, conversations because shit is moving so fast.
Yeah.
In so many different areas that you literally don't have time for your feelings. I'm not saying fuck your feelings. I'm saying put it to the side, or else you're gonna get hurt. Literally,
it's gonna get ugly in a hurry. It already is ugly. Yeah,
exactly. Like what?
It's
like
time to cry. And it's time not to cry, but you will get that time later to cry.
Yeah, like we don't. We're at a place right now where we're literally not going back. Right? We're not going back. No, mammal has gone backwards in terms of consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Period. But
unless you have to.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it'll be marginal, but what would be required to really set things, to change things, quote unquote, tomorrow, your lifestyle will have to be cut in half.
Yeah.
People need to understand this shit. It will literally need to be cut in half. All these tree huggers, all those other nonsense that people, because they can't see the big picture, it will be cut in half, and they don't want to do that.
No, they don't. Yeah, they don't. They don't want to put I think I heard this chick say they don't want to actually push the red button.
Exactly. So to
I
me,
will push a red button.
to
yeah,
me,
you're not a limousine liberal though.
Exactly.
Or
I mean,
or a tree hugger. Or a tree
exactly. Yeah, I mean, I was saying this some 2 years ago. I said I would prefer to just slowly rip the Band-Aid off so we can get over with this shit and move forward. But that's not the case. That's not going to happen. I've accepted that. So now guys need to understand, you just need to get on your game and get with other guys. Most likely they're not going to be local. You need to understand, like, we're in like a, I don't think we're going towards, I keep on saying this, a real player one, a Cyberpunk 2077. That's where we're going.
Yeah,
like you see it with the science.
Yeah,
that's where we're going.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Quickly. Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, those games are actually based on the science. In fact,
Yep.
they were just talking about the drone warfare that's going on in Ukraine and even Israel, right?
Yep.
Go back and look at I think it's called Kill Decision by Daniel Suarez, right? Go read that book, 2007, right?
Okay.
Talk about the very same thing you talk about in that book is being done right now.
Yeah.
Done right
Yep.
now.
Did I see that right there?
I told you about that book in 2017, Kill Decision, right? This is where it's headed. It's here now, okay? Told you about prostitution, right? Being legalized or decriminalized, where they have to start selling the coochie to survive. It's here now, right? Winter is here now. It's not coming. It's here, okay?
Yes.
I think Tone Talk is playing the audio of this white middle class chick that's a nurse and her husband works 60 hours a week, right? And she's crying because they can't make ends meet. Winter is here now for everybody, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, she was talking about how she had to take out credit card and stuff. You know, just to buy, just to make sure there was food in the house.
You're mortgaging your life at 20, 21, 25% interest rates, okay?
Well, the last thing I want to say is,
Go ahead.
and I'm glad you brought that up. The reason why is because a lot of people bought into this inflated illusion that is just, they see themselves more than what they really are. And this is why they overspend, they do also the extra shit. And this is why I say, like, and I'm always gonna keep on saying this, man. In the long, I mean, you don't need all these crazy, calculate equations of saving and having enough money to fucking retire. It's really simple. If you are not saving 30% minimum, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
The average multi-millionaire, they're saving about 64%.
Yeah.
Saving, if obviously you're not a millionaire. So on the lower end, you're at 60. I mean, you're at 30%. This is why I say you need to be in the 30 to 50% range. This is why you shouldn't be spending more on a mortgage or a rent than what you make in a fucking week. Same thing with your car payment. Should be more than max 2 days work. You do that. It's quick. You can do the math in 5 minutes. You do that.
Yeah.
Add it up. 5-10 years, fuck 40, 5-10 years, then you will see, holy shit. One, I waste a lot of time and money. Two, I can save and invest a lot of money in a relatively short period of time on my own. Now, if you do, get with someone else, it should be the same plan. The problem is they don't do that. They spend more instead of saying, hold on a minute, what if something happens to one of us?
Yeah.
Because we are not wealthy. You're not in the top 5%, not even, wealthy, top 0.1, 0.001, 0.001. Those guys are on a different planet. And too many people are looking at the news or looking on social media thinking that that's a lifestyle that they deserve because they feel like it. Not understanding that, I mean, it's declining now where it took generations for that to even happen.
Everybody, whether you adhere to it or not, should buy this book, Your Money, Your Life, okay? About how to resolve yourself with money, how to save money, how to be content without spending a whole lot of money, right? Okay?
Yeah, we don't need a lot.
Basically, spending more is not going to make you happier. That's what he's trying to
Correct.
say. Read that book, okay? Do you want to know how to budget rapidly? Read this book, okay?
Yep.
Every book, I bought like 10 of them. I loaned them out to people, never get them back, okay? So, but the thing is, very, very good book, man. I read this like 30 years ago, as a matter of fact, right? Okay.
Yep.
Extremely good book, okay? Get it by Joe Dominguez and Vicki Robbins. In fact, if you can find it on tape, audio CD, or an audio book, yeah, it's even better. When he
Hey,
actually does
BJ, I sent you that link, by the way.
I've been knowing about the Bill Gates Foundation, man, since he retired. Okay.
But it says in that link, that his foundation also financed the push for that that Depo Provera also in Europe and in the United States as well, and in Asia outside of Africa.
His main focus is in Africa. That's why he's there. Okay. Depo Provera has been around for Bill Gates didn't even have a software company when Depo Provera came out. Okay.
So what's causing infertility in white men then?
You tell me. You tell me. Okay.
No, you're the master teacher. I'm asking you.
No. You tell me. You're a smart ass. Tell me.
Again with the smart ass remarks, I asked you a question. You the master teacher. I'm asking you.
No. But the energy you coming at is like shit. Okay.
What energy? I asked you a question. I didn't
Dude,
even yell
calm
or
down,
anything.
bro. Calm down. Breathe.
You want me to answer your
question?
question?
I didn't yell or anything. I asked you a question.
What? No, you slow
your
down.
Voice, your tone, bro. You're kind of like you're getting aggravated a little bit. Just breathe a little bit, man. Chill.
Well, I can't help the sound of my voice. I asked you a question. I didn't yell or anything.
Say please, sir.
Please.
Thank
please.
you.
I don't got a problem saying please.
Okay. This is your last question because I don't like your tone. Okay. It's called nickel. Go look at it's three things, right? I actually investigated this, right? One is soy, okay, and hydrogenated vegetable oil, which is nickel, okay. And what the last thing is what they call high fructose corn syrup. Okay, those are three major things. The other things are actually pesticides. Okay, but you get rid of nickel, you get rid of soy that they put in all the foods. Okay, your fertility rate will probably come back. Sperm rate will probably go back up. The thing is, it's in all your foods now. It'll cost you more to actually replace all these things. That's probably the biggest reason that I can actually ascertain, right? Because they actually put nickel as a catalyst in all three of these things, right? Okay, and nickel is basically kills your fertility. Okay,
yeah,
in men. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, answer my question.
Okay.
BJ, your book is on Audible. This book that you're showing is on Audible.
Yeah, it's on Audible.
Right now, it's on $9.99 right now until tomorrow.
I would suggest that you, especially focus on, and Saucy would love this, right? Okay. What he suggests is before you even budget, right? Okay. Don't even change anything, right? Take 30 index cards, right? And every day write down every penny that comes in and out of your life. In other words, everything you spend or receive is written down on that card, right? And when you come to the end of the month, take all the cards and look at them and write them down on the big ledger, right? It shows you exactly where all your leaks are as far as money is concerned, right? What you spend it on, where the money goes, and then when you look at it, you decide what's more important that you spend money on. I remember one time when I first did it, it's got to be in the 90s, right? Okay, I was going to the machine spending, I think M&Ms at the time and out of the machine were like 65 cents, right? I was buying 3 packs a day. Okay, just little bitty tiny things, right? Okay, so I was spending like $2 a day on M&Ms, right? That added up to like $60 a month. Just little bitty things, right? Just little things. That's just one of the little things, right? Okay, that's what it'll actually start pointing out. So basically, I think it's chapter 2 or 3, right? Which most people resist is getting the cards and actually tracking your money consciously, right? But most people spend money unconsciously. Okay, tracking your money and actually making conscious decisions about how you're going to spend your money and where it goes, right? And what kind of lifestyle do you want to live according to that money? This will actually get all that stuff into focus. And if you cool with the way you live, then you have to work harder. Okay, like Salchi says, if that's where you want to live, and you decided that's what you want, then work to get it and stop complaining. You have to live with your consequences. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, I just was gonna add also the birth control, man, that gets into the water, because that stuff does not get filtered out.
It doesn't, but it doesn't. But the thing is, they talk about that, but the water is not concentrated enough. It's in the fucking food, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
It's in the foods.
Yeah.
It's in artificial sweeteners, and
Yeah.
it's in the because if you look at most of your prepackaged, sometimes in the store, the stuff you get in the store, the processed shit, hydrogenated oils, right? I couldn't figure that
Yeah.
shit out until I think I used to eat at I had an allergy to nickel, right? And I used to eat at Wingstop, right? Once a week, right? Every time that I get swelling, I couldn't figure this shit out, right? And so I started looking up, but what's in this stuff? I said, well, it's not the soy, okay? Soy protein, what is it? And figured out, okay, it's the nickel catalyst that caused it. I started taking something that actually take the nickel, the heavy metals out of my system. Boop.
You got better.
A lot
Hey,
of heavy
BGS,
metals,
you want me to go to the oil section?
if you want to.
All right, give me a minute.
Yeah, a lot
Man,
of
BJ, you was spot on. I just looked it up. You was spot on with the nickel shit.
Yeah. Oh, really? Hold on a second. I got it. I got two for you, Knight. I got two you.
Guys, the bottom line is this: BGS is right.
And then the next thing.
What's up, boss? You believe that? You hold on. Oh no. Do you believe in that? Huh? Oh no. Ah! Oh no. Come on. Do you believe?
And the last one I got for you.
Life's tough. Get a helmet, man.
I got them for you guys today. Anyway,
BJS, you should get one more thing. What's it called? For like when all the chicks is getting mad about Passport Bros or wherever the hell that's adjacent to it, you should get the snakes on the plane with Samuel L. Jackson saying, like, I'm sick of what's called, I'm tired of these snakes on these motherfucking plane. Buckle up. Like, to put that on there because I was like, yo, that's a good thing for BGS.
Yeah, when the bitches come up, man, and complain.
Life's tough. Get a helmet, man.
Shout out to Candace for that one.
Oh yeah, I will forever be grateful for her with that one, man. That was clever. That's the slickest shit I ever heard, man.
BGS, now, what oil I'm looking at?
Oh, the thing is that in any processed food it has hydrogenated vegetable oil. Okay, whether it's soy, it could be fats, but the thing is they use nickel to actually heat that stuff and actually hydrogenate that stuff. It has to be heated.
What was it? My audio went out.
Hydrogenated vegetable oil. So like pick up a pack of like Oreos, that's for instance, right? Okay. And read the back of it. It's got hydrogenated vegetable oil. It could be soy, it could be corn, but thing it's got nickel in it. Traces of nickel in the food.
Okay, hold on.
Damn, I like Oreos too. Why is that even? The way how you say hydrogenated.
In other words, it's got hydrogen or air or carbon and hydrogen air in it. They actually make it fluffy. Okay.
Oh, it just sounds like it's feminine. I don't know what it is. Like it just sounds like it's gonna make you into a chick.
And in other words, that's how they solidify the oils, right? Because it's liquid. Okay. And they have to solidify it in cooking. Okay. So because if it's in liquid, it'll actually spoil quicker. But the thing is, once they put that stuff in it, hydrogenated, it will not it won't spoil as fast. But it's in all your foods. Okay. When I found out, I said as soon as I did that, everything went away. Erection any kind of erection problem that you have, okay, that shit goes away. Okay. I said, damn. I said, that's in other words, I've never had a real problem. The thing is, as you age, you think, okay, it's just aging, right? As soon as I got rid of the nickel out of my system, shit, they said, boop, boop. I said, I feel like I'm 20. Boop, boop, boop. It's the nickel, the heavy metals that are actually in your system. Okay, EDTA, or let's call it what, DMG. Okay, get rid of your nickel if you want. But be careful with it. I would say take one a day and monitor yourself, because if you're allergic to something in those supplements, I don't actually be responsible for it. So, yeah, like most of your food has some kind of uh, vegetable oil in it at some point.
You know, this makes me miss Jamaica. One thing I remember when I was a kid, when I was living out there, I was like always saying it was health. I was always healthy, and it's just like I felt good until I came back.
See, hydrogenated vegetable oil. Yeah, see. Yeah. What food is that, Lewis? Yeah. All your cookies have it. Your potato chips have it. A lot of processed foods have it. Some of the oil that you buy, you see if you're gonna fry anything in it, it has it, right?
Yeah, most of that stuff is just fillers. Junk.
The thing is they fluff it up. See soybean oil? See that?
Mhm.
Hydrogenated vegetable oil? Yeah. That's what causes it. Okay. The thing is they if you have to use shortening or something like that for baked goods, okay?
Mm-hmm.
To fry stuff in for baked goods, it's in everything. Oils actually lubricate that. See, fructose corn syrup. Yep.
That's the first ingredient.
Yep.
And that's why the real maple syrup is expensive. People take it the wrong way. Oh, you're bougie. No, I just love myself.
Yeah.
that's my response to most things when
Yeah.
it comes to health. No, I just love myself.
And that's how they save.
Yep.
That's how they save
Profit
money.
margin.
Yeah.
Profit margins increase.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God! And they wonder why shit is going,
Yeah.
to shit.
Yeah.
Just saying that just kind of like I'm like, yo, I want to punch you in the face.
and see, that's why one of my favorite in margin call. That's why that car ride, when he says when we take our finger off the pulse. That's why I love that, because people don't see it. They really don't see what's happening. They don't see how they're allowing. They're putting the wrong. They're supposed the people who are already selected to in these various government positions. They don't see that they've been selling your ass for 50 years.
Yeah, and as long as you didn't go overboard, people are happy with it. Once you kind of let it go overboard, which happened in 2008, it's happening again right now. What? Yeah.
Oh, in Europe, they're going through demographic issues. A lot of people don't even know about it. They want to start shipping people out. We're even talking about Germany.
Yeah. Because the demographics are starting to shift into darker people. Okay. They'd rather die than.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crime's going up, all that stuff, man. They're putting more cops out on the streets. People aren't paying attention.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, they you cause all of this shit to even get this demographic problem in the first place. You're the one that's going over there fucking over with people's land and getting them to come over to your shit in the first place, and now you got a problem with it. It's just like, yo, you're kind of fucking it up yourselves by doing it.
The thing is, at some point the old routine is not going to work, right? Okay. The thing is, they had an idea that this might happen. They thought they could actually fix it by importing people, right? Shit, it's not doing any good. Okay.
Plus,
go ahead. Go ahead. You there? What happened? They got him? Okay. They got him. The structure is probably the structure is more important. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. The structure of the society is probably more important. Like you're not gonna get feminists without internet and iPhones. Okay.
Yes. I think it's hard. Again, I think it's hard for a lot of guys to get it, because then they have to look in the mirror and realize how insignificant they are. That doesn't mean you're worthless. I'm not saying you should see yourself as worthless, but when it comes to society and the power structure and where they're going, and to be quite frank, to have the freedom isn't free, but to have the
illusion of freedom.
Yeah, in a sense, well, to have the leisure that we have in this country it comes at a cost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the guys, they really don't get it. And this is why I try to just, a lot of times I don't say too much, because to most people it sounds dark, but it's like, yeah, it's dark if you don't have any skills or you aren't willing to do what's required for yourself and your family, and to be around those who can make moves like that. Most guys are not willing to do that. So,
And
Hey,
it's,
Solchi.
go ahead, Lewis.
Hey, Solchi, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Say it's over.
I already did. It's over.
It's over.
but again, it's
Yo,
over. It's over for those who can't, do what's required, man. That's it, man. I'm not saying that, guys can't. I can't do it for guys, and that used to be my problem. I'm 40 now, so especially in my 20s and 30s, I wasted a lot of time trying to drag people to the fuck all that shit, man. If they really wanted to, they would have done what was required. Not now. I don't do it anymore.
You know one thing I can say about like
one time.
I was gonna say, one way to get like men to probably get a reality check is like how I do it. I think about the universe. I'm like, dude, we're smaller than an atom in the universe. So how important are you?
Yeah. The scary thing is it's your leaders, the people that are movers and shakers, can't solve this problem. That's the scary part.
And they're all a bunch of idiots.
No, they're not idiots. They made wrong decisions. They're not idiots, okay? But they can't solve this problem because they can't accept that he can't control this shit. That's the problem.
And that's what I'm saying. Like they're idiots because they don't want to accept that. Like you can't control it. Like
well, if they're idiots, then we're all in trouble. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think idiot's the word. I think foolish.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Hubris is where it comes to mind.
Ooh.
Arrogance.
Yes, that's
yeah. Anyhow.
Hey guys, I gotta go.
One
I'll
question.
catch on a rebound.
Go ahead. Ask.
Hey, one question to BGS.
Yes, sir.
Did you see the recent Umar Johnson interview thing on YouTube?
Nope. What did he say?
He mentioned something about some stats on middle class and upper class black men have the highest interracial marriage rate, some shit like that.
That's not true.
I was wondering, you debunk that. Can you do something to debunk this?
No, you can look any stat, man. That's not true. Even black women will say the same, but it's not true. Okay. The highest rate of interracial marriage are not black men. The highest interracial marriage is actually Asian women and Latina women. Okay.
Yep.
We're not. In fact, Medium Man actually did a whole post about that. Go back and look at his channel, right? He said the same thing.
The same as white. We're basically the same as white.
White folks marry out interracial at maybe 2%. We're probably like 3% or 4%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not high.
Is it increasing? Yes. But the thing is, the upper class men marry black women at a clip of 85%. Okay. Which is just about the average of everybody else. Okay. About the same average. 85%. If you look at the interracial marriage rate of black men in total, it's about 85%. About 15%, which goes all the way across the board. It's not that big a difference between upper class men and lower class men.
Mm-hmm.
It just stands out. Come to California, man, a lot of lower class men, working class men marrying Latinos.
Oh yeah.
Out. Yeah. Yeah. So when you introduce Latinas into the mix, Latinas will marry anyone that will take them. You start getting more of a mixed society, whereas they don't have this white black dichotomy like we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Latinas they don't waste time.
No. Yeah, if you're a good man and you match their energy and their class, they'll marry you.
Yep.
Yeah. But
it took me a long time to realize my cousin was right. My little cousin was right all this time because what's it called? I never really seen him like dating black girls anymore. He like gave up like around.
They got him again.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably around like 7.
Is
it me?
Yeah.
I got cut off.
The biggest problem with black love is black women refuse to change, and black men have choice. Passport bro is probably bigger. Yeah, we can hear you. Can you
Oh, I
hear
was saying
us?
my cousin. Oh yeah. Now I can hear you. I'm sorry. I think I was messed up. Continue, BGS. I think you were saying something.
Oh, what I'm saying is the biggest threat, the biggest threat to black women right now is passport bros. Believe it or not, upper class men are actually leaving the country with their wealth. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
or making different choices. Okay, that's the biggest. That's the biggest issue right now for black women. Dr. Umar, but before Sukiyana, I would say Dr. Umar. Well, his heart's in the right place. He's after money right now, so I don't even listen to him anymore. As far as this is concerned, he sticks to what he knows. As far as being a school psychologist, is none better. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as this kind of stuff, I don't listen to him. He's pandering for dollars. He's a pander bear. He's in the panderverse, as AB would say.
Pander African.
The pander African.
Now,
He's-
to be fair, I have to give him just an inch of credit. Even he called out the sisters for not going to Cheesecake Factory. He's like, really?
a bridge too
I was like,
far.
damn, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he is a tool. But
He's still a tool. Let's not get it twisted.
Tools and coons need to get paid. Otherwise, you're doing it wrong.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Smartest words. Smartest words ever heard.
I told that to ABL. ABL is probably a millionaire now because he took that as life. Yeah. Get paid, man.
Yeah.
Be a coon.
Shout out to ABL and Candace.
Yeah. Well, Candace been a tool. Been a coon for a long time. Okay. That's why they call it Kundis instead of Candace.
The coonstress, yeah.
Yeah, the coonstress. Yeah, she been that way since high school. That's what if you listen to her her friends. It didn't just start yesterday. AKA Tariq Nasheed. Okay, I don't know what that is. But anyway, y'all. Let's closing thoughts and let's get out of here.
Yeah, I'll go as usual. Appreciate the space, man.
I make plenty. You just don't like the answers.
You power.
That's the problem when you don't think
Is it
about
me?
the intelligence.
That's Charles. I'll mute him. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, as usual, appreciate the space. Appreciate what you do. Just a lot of guys just need to read, man. Well, not only just read. I mean, you need to understand what the hell you're reading, and humbly just ask questions, man. Because this is 3D chess. Like in my opinion, and for me, I don't have time to have my ego get in the way of my progress. So, that's just how I see things.
Right. Yep. Anybody else?
BGS, once again, love you. You keep doing God's work out here. You always teach me something else, and honestly, shoot, man, I'm addicted to this shit. I love it. Like every time you put, I keep going down deeper and deeper to the rabbit hole. I'm like, it's about to get bad, but I can't, I can't stop peeking into it. I got.
You asked for it, man. You asked for not the red pill, but the black pill. Okay, that's what it's at the bottom. Is the black pill.
I'm eating popcorn at this shit. I'm eating popcorn while watching this. This is beautiful. I love it. It's the greatest episodes ever. Greatest TV show ever.
Y'all ain't
so
shit.
Stay blessed out here, BGS and everybody.
All right. Peace out.
Yeah, I'll go. Shout out to you, BGS. I'm sure a hater got his wings today because you started the fear porn back.
Oh, they like that. They like that stuff, huh? They like my fear porn, huh? Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like, see, BGS is telling everything's over here. I can hear it now, but that's all I got about.
No, the Saucy said it was over. I didn't say it.
Yeah.
Saucy said it was over.
Oh, don't worry, they'll blame you anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm out.
Yeah, it's always BGS's fault. All right. Jones family, a question to the panel. Why do some people say this stuff is the boomers' fault? They have nobody else to blame. That's why. They run out of people. And the last one is what? Great discussion, and it's important that these issues are named and discussed.
I'm not. I'm keeping straight to it. You made.
All right. Frame and discuss from a structural lens. It elevates how we've understood the shifts across the world, including but not limited to demographic change. The thing is that this is not for the regular people. It's actually for people at the top. I'm just showing it what they're seeing. Okay, Charles, you got a closing thought, Charles?
No, nobody switched it up.
Okay, and he's still talking. All right, anybody else for closing thoughts? Yes, no, yes, no.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
It's all done. Nobody. It's nobody's done. Anytime Asian women who pop out babies like there's nothing, well, it's all done.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be reformed, man. They have to figure this shit out.
They're gonna. No, I mean, there's gonna be millions, if not billions, of people who are gonna. You might as well just mass grave a lot of people. It's done.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got to be done. It's got to be reformed. They'll figure it out sooner or later.
If not, just let the sun just swallow the goddamn. Just let them swallow the goddamn earth.
Call in the meteor, huh? Bring it
I
down.
mean, just call it a meteor and start over. Let the cockroaches have their turn. Fuck this shit. There's no true meaning to life anyway. So I mean, what the fuck? I mean, if you really want to test to see if you're gonna see your God, hey, you're gonna get your chance. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, what's the point? Like, it just makes about as much sense as looking at my friend saying, "Hey, you want to get married? If you don't want to get married, you won't have a companion." So I can be miserable like you, motherfucker. Like, really? Like, I'd rather have my freedom. Like, and then I'll say this real quick.
Okay.
I'm looking at all these chicks that are from yesteryear, even the ones I didn't sleep with, and I'm like, why now? Why on God's green earth now? I'm like, why the fuck do you want? What the fuck? Well, I want another baby. I said, shorty, you're 3 years older. You're 2 to 3 years older than me, and you want another baby. Your kid's 13, mine's 16.
It's
Makes
called
fucking sense.
That's not a buzzer beater. That's a Hail Mary with
That's
no
not even
time with no time on the clock.
That's not even a Hail Mary. That's like I'm trying to pin the Olympic champion, and I'm down 9 points. One more point, he touch called me. Like there's almost no fucking way in hell you're winning that shit. I'm just like I tell people all the time. Like, look, there are certain people bred for this type of thinking, and that's why it's really hard to explain this shit to the average person. The average person can't understand it. Like they don't understand the concept of collateral loss.
Somebody said Blue Lotus flower tea, crazy dreams. Huh? Okay. I don't know where to get it. Never heard of that.
I've never heard of that. That must be some new mushroom shit.
It was, people find psychedelics in all kinds of stuff. All right, let me read my cash apps and we're out of here. Jay, appreciate you. Montrez, appreciate you. Mr. Tolbert, appreciate you. And there's one more. Kevin, appreciate you. I think that's all of them. Appreciate you guys, man. It's kind of, I guess it got more interesting than I thought, but it's kind of dry. But I'm trying to keep you guys ahead of the curve, right? Because it's coming. Okay.
I think a lot of, and this also teaches me something about this space. There's a lot of guys who've been in this space and don't know the goddamn thing about women.
I know.
It's almost shocking, but in the words of Tori and Rain, I feel nothing.
All right, folks, we out of here. I had to pay $700 because a dog bite got bite by a bad spider. Love dogs, got fly. Okay, it's Sean. Okay, I was wondering where the hell is that coming from. Makes sense. All right, folks, man. I will see you guys for AMA tomorrow. Got to go talk to my grandson. He's begging for Christmas. So peace out, and love, peace, and chicken grease. Okay, and stay away from the goddamn hydrogenated vegetable oil, man. That's got nickel in. If you don't do that, take some DMG. Okay, that shit works. Once a day for about 2 or 3 weeks, and come back and talk to me. Okay, anyhow, peace out.